welcome to Thursday Night Lights, presented by Premier Health and the Cincinnati Toyota dealers. We're here at Troy Memorial Stadium for a game between the Trojans and the Sidney Yellow Jackets. I'm Andre Johnson here with Coach Jim Place and Bennett Wise on the sidelines. And this is going to be a very unique situation because both teams are actually down to QB2 on the depth chart. For Troy, quarterback Josh Mayfield went down 2 weeks ago, so in comes Donnie Stanley, who since then is undefeated as a starter. And on the Sidney side, quarterback Donovan Johnson's unlikely to play, so in comes E.J. Davis, an ex-running back and receiver. And, Coach, playing on this grass field, they might have to make a few adjustments.
Troy has a grass field. The Sidney Yellow Jackets haven't played on the grass field in 2 years. One of the biggest things they're going to have to adjust to is that all grass fields have a pitch for drainage. Look for passes from Sidney to go high because they're not used to that pitch. But wait a minute, Andre Johnson.
Okay. Whoa.
The Sidney Yellow Jackets are excited about playing on this grass field because it's old-school football. It reminds them of physical football. They love the thought of playing here. Look for not only old-style football, but look for some dirty uniforms tonight. I'm loving it, Andre.
Well, whoever's going to have to do laundry after the game, they're not loving it. But I know Bennett Wise, he's ready to introduce some of the keys to winning tonight.
Yeah, for Sidney and Coach Adam Dunges, he talked about how the Troy offense likes to have 12 to 15 different offensive formations. So he stressed defensive alignment at all gaps at all three levels of the field. He said offensively, the big thing is stringing plays together to then take advantage of the Troy defense in any creases that they give them. Now moving to the Trojans, head coach Danny Gress said this will be a high school game anybody will love to watch given the field and weather conditions. So he said they want to establish the run early and look for big plays on special teams to open up the passing game for quarterback Donnie Stanley. Now we'll send it to our Dayton 24/7 Now studios for Chief Meteorologist Natalie Walters and our Thursday night forecast.
Perfect football weather for this evening with temperatures to start off the game in the 60s, lower 60s, but we're going to drop down into the 50s by later this evening, so you'll likely need a jacket as the game goes on, as it is going to get a little bit chillier out there, a little bit more fall-like, but we will start out with cloud cover, sunsets at 7:51, followed by things clearing and cooling off through the rest of the evening. So feeling like football weather for this Thursday Night Lights.
Thank you, Natalie. We'll be right back for the coin toss.
Gentlemen, I've got a lady, walking Lady Liberty coin. The eagle is a tail. Lady is a head. Eagle is a tail. Visitor's going to call it. I'm going to flip it. You're going to repeat his call. If I drop the coin, we'll do it again. What is your call? His call is tails. It is a head. You won the toss. Offense, defense, defer to the second half. Troy is won, and we'll defer to the second half, which means you're taking the football. Which goal would you like to defend, sir? If you would, gentlemen, turn this way. Sidney will receive on this end. Gentlemen, if you'd like to shake hands, go right ahead. Good luck tonight.
The Troy Trojans winning the coin toss, choosing to defer. Coach Place, what's the logic behind choosing to defer after winning that?
I think it's the common thing to do in football. Nice squib kick.
This
kickoff.
kickoff,
Something going right away.
This kickoff brought to you by Right and Shoot as the tackle is made around the 34-yard line. And here come the Sidney Yellow Jackets onto the field.
Andre, to finish up on that, one of the biggest reasons is if you defer, you'll get the win in the fourth quarter. So if you're talking about a game-winning field goal, that's what it is.
And that's one of the keys to this game. And some other ones for Sidney as they step onto the field is to win the turnover battle and to have more 15-plus yard plays. And on the Troy side, sound football on offense and special teams. And they're also going to have to contain the quarterback and limit big plays. There goes E.J. Davis lining up in the pistol, the running back right up the gut for a strong, hard-earned 5 yards.
You know, we'll see how much Coach Adam Douglas has cut down his playbook because he had to switch quarterbacks because of injury.
The starting lineup brought to you by Carol Wirtz Tire. You see Evan Kennedy at left tackle, Jaden Bishop, Brennan Barnes, Hayden Cottrell, and Thomas Seibert. The big guys down on the O-line. E.J. Davis in for Donovan Johnson at quarterback. Martez Harris, you saw him just get that carry. Then you've got a big lineup of receivers. So E.J., he's got a lot of help around him tonight, Coach. As he heads the hand up off the middle to Martez. Martez spinning around a few tackles and fighting his way to that 45-yard line. But Troy says they've got the ball. They said that ball is out of there. as we wait for the referee's call as they sort to the bottom of that dog pile. They say it was a fumble, but Sidney maintained possession.
You know, I think every fan in the Troy stands was pointing towards the other end goal line. You know what? Believe me, the officials can see it a whole lot better than you can. And boy, do we got a good crew. Ryan Walters and his crew tonight, they're one of the best in the Miami Valley. You know, one thing about Thursday night football, you get the best crews because on Friday night you got to spread those crews out. There's only one game in town tonight, and all the top crews, we get top ones. Ryan Walters and his crew, they're one of the best.
E.J. Davis lining up after another Arby's first down. He's keeping it around the left, looking for some space, and he's brought down behind the line of scrimmage. And Coach, E.J. Davis last year, he was a running back. They converted him to receiver. We'll get to that a little later, but we're going to look at these starting lineups for Troy, brought to you by Carol Wirtz Tires. You see the big guys on that defensive line, led by Eli Smith. Christopher Williams and Evan Jones are two big names in that linebacker core. Then you get to the secondary, you see a guy like Jack Kleinhans and Wyatt Smith. I remember talking to this team before the season, and they all told me that Wyatt Smith at that safety position is really going to be the breakout candidate for this Trojans team. Oh, that snap over E.J. Davis's head, and you see him just trying to make something happen, and he's brought down for a huge gain. The Trojans defense celebrating. That's J.J. McCoy with the tackle as we look at the replay. That's just out of his reach, Coach, and there's not much you can do in that situation.
No, there isn't. You know, one thing about E.J. Davis, he is the leading rusher in the league coming into this season, so believe me, he knows what to do with that ball. Let's see what Coach does here. Play it safe.
Oh, no, he says we're not playing it safe. We're taking a deep shot. Oh, but the receiver fell, and that's picked off. Wow, what a catch by the Troy Trojans. That one made by number 30, Wyatt Smith, who we just finished talking about. The Trojans breakout player of the year, and he had a huge interception on the first drive of the game.
I think he heard you, Andre, and you fired him up.
He must have us in his ear or something.
Yes, he does. You know, that ends up as good as a punt, though. Replay. You know, it ended up about a 30-yard switch in field position. So, right. Troy, two bad snaps in a row. You know, you have a tendency to say, what can go wrong with the new quarterback? Well, the new quarterback, the snap is the same. So I'm sure they'll go on the sidelines and work that out.
Do you like the decision on 3rd and long just to take that shot instead of maybe running it?
Absolutely. You know, take a chance. You're here. You're the visitor.
Donnie Stanley lining up into the shotgun. He's also a backup quarterback for Troy, giving the hand up off the middle to Andrew Hellman. He's brought down at the line of scrimmage as we look at the starters for the Troy Trojans. Brought to you by Carol Wirtz Tire, Alex Davison, Joe Cusick, Parker Nichols, Max Chipley, and Owen Harleman down on that offensive line. We mentioned Donnie Stanley in at quarterback for the injured Josh Mayfield. Nick Kowicki next to him, Andrew Hellman at tight end, Will Wolk, Jack Kleinhans, and Willie Ritchie at lining up at wide receiver. As Stanley lines up once again in the shotgun, the Trojans trying to establish the run early. A big stiff arm, but he's brought down by Nick Kowicki. And, Coach, the Trojans told me before the season that they win games here in Troy in the trenches. And when you've got a backup quarterback in, how important is it to really establish the run?
Oh, absolutely. And plus, both of these teams are run-oriented football teams. But now that you've got backup quarterbacks in, that is really going to magnify the situation where they're going to try and run the ball. Tell you what, though, both these teams live on defense. So it's going to be tough to get yardage tonight. Look for a low-scoring game.
As we look at the defensive starters brought to you by Carol Wirtz Tires. Sidney lining up after that big tackle behind the line of scrimmage. 3rd and 13 for the Trojans. They mentioned how good Donnie Stanley is throwing the ball, and he's not going to throw it here. We're going back to the run. Nick Kowicki up the middle. Down to the 38-yard line. A huge run for a first down for the Trojans.
Just a very, very simple down, and kick out with a guard leading up in. See the pulling guard leading up in. Down, kick out with a guard. The back bounced it out. And that guard that's coming around, he has the option to kick the defensive end out or seal him, depending on his play. In that case, the guard was good enough to seal him. Same play. Guard again around.
More space around the outside. And they're not going to catch him. Kowicki off. Oh, he's brought down at the 3, off to the races. Back-to-back big plays by Nick Kowicki. Has the Trojans in scoring position down at the 3-yard line. That's another Arby's first down. And now, looking at the Toyota replay, you mentioned it last play, Coach. Kowicki bounced to get to the outside. Great play by the defender, saving a touchdown there. And now
the key to that play is Joe Cusick, though, the pulling guard. I'm going to talk about 53. Area is pulling again. Same play.
And this time they're able to dogpile him as we enter the Donato's delivery zone. Donato's Pizza is a great call for after the game. Order online for pickup or delivery at donatos.com. Every piece is important.
So on that play, Andre, the entire line blocks down. The backside pulling guard pulls, and he has the option of either kicking the end out in or logging him inside, and the back reads off of that. You know, in the defense side of the ball, some defenses do what's called spill, which means the defensive end is going to come in and take his outside arm and make the ball bounce outside, knowing that his fill's on the inside. If his fill's on the inside, he's going to turn the play into the inside linebacker. So see how Sidney plays that. Down, out. Same play to the other side.
Stanley again. This time, Donnie Stanley rolling to his left, looking for a guy in the end zone. Oh! Incomplete to a diving receiver. Donnie Stanley with a nice way to get out of the pocket. The pressure was coming. He stayed calm. He rolled out to his left. He delivered a catchable ball. It was just out of the reach of his hands as we look at the Toyota replay. Oh, that's one that he's going to wish he had back, Coach.
You know what? Sprinting to the left for a right-handed quarterback is really tough because the one thing you don't want to do is throw across your body. So picture taking your right arm and swinging it all the way across your body. That's a tough way to pass. What he's got to do is get out there, set his feet, snap the shoulders around, and throw it.
Offense number 77. That penalty is declined. Third down.
Okay, illegal receiver downfield. That happens.
That brings up 3rd and goal now, Coach. Do you choose to decline that penalty, or do you back him up and still have him on 2nd down, or do you take your 3rd and goal with 10 yards to go to the end zone?
I think the main factor there is the Troy kicker. If you think that he's a great kicker and he's going to make it from no matter what, you decline the penalty. If you think he's a bad kicker and another 10 yards is going to cause him to miss, you accept it. So it all goes upon what you think of the Troy kicker.
Stanley, play action, rolling again to his left, throwing. He's got the big guy, and that's Sidney's defense not having it. They push Christopher Williams out of bounds, the big tight end / linebacker. Sidney, huge tackle right there on 3rd down, led by Elijah Austin as we look at the replay. Christopher Williams, he's trying to stiff arm, but Elijah said, no, you're not going anywhere. Pushing him out of bounds at the 5, and now the Trojans have a decision to make. They look like they're trotting their kicker out there, Jack Kleinhans.
4th and 5. He's got confidence in his kicker. Coach Gress is going to go for the 3.
It's up. That one's going to split the uprights. It's good. The Troy Trojans taking a 3-0 lead as we go to commercial break. Here at Troy Memorial Stadium, the Sidney Yellow Jackets taking on the Troy Trojans. Tonight after Premier Health Thursday Night Lights presented by Cincinnati Toyota Dealers. Watch those two, Adam Arrow and Megan O'Rourke on Dayton 24/7 Now News at 10 on Fox 45 and get connected.
Andre, 3 points could be big in this game. These are two very good defensive teams. We're on grass. The grass is a little muddy tonight. The footing's going to be a little tough. Good 3 points for Troy. I think they got to be feeling good. Sidney's got to be feeling good, though. Sidney's got to figure out how to stop that down kick-out play. You know, they went for big yardage. And that backside guard, Joe Cusick, he's one of the best in the area. He's on my all-tough guy team, number 53, Joe Cusick. I love that guy.
This kickoff brought to you by Wright and Schultz. A short one down to the 27-yard line, gathered up by the Jackets. And he's looking for some space around the edge. Pushed out of bounds around the 30-yard line. That's Julius Spradling, the freshman. And, Coach, now we saw the Jackets come out in their first possession. They really tried to run the ball a lot. And when you've got a guy like E.J. Davis, he's big on the defensive end. He used to play linebacker, but he also used to play running back. He actually moved to receiver because Coach said he needed him so much on defense. Coach Adam Dunge's right there. He told us he needed EJ so much on defense he couldn't have him taking the pounding that a running back would typically take. So now at quarterback, he says he definitely plans to make use of his ability to run the ball and his ball vision as he lines up another high snap. Oh, no! Trojans falling on that one. And the Jackets in a very tough position backed up against their own goal line. A big fumble recovery by Eli Smith.
You know, Andre, you talk about offensive and defensive schemes. Here's our replay. Oh, until you can get that snap down. it doesn't matter about the schemes and the players and everything else. The snap right now is the dominant play in the game. I hope for the sake of the game, for the help of Sidney and Coach Adam Dungus, they get that snap worked out. They're high school guys. They make mistakes.
Absolutely. And realistically, it all starts with getting that snap down, especially when you've got a guy who's unfamiliar with the quarterback position. It's putting your defense as well in a very tough position. They made a great goal line stand as we enter the Donato's delivery zone for Troy. Donato's Pizza, a great call for after the game. Order online for pickup or delivery at donatos.com. Every piece is important. Stanley giving it up the middle to his running back, and he's finding some space up the middle. Touchdown, Troy. Wow. Number 9, Will Wolkey, finding some space, getting into the end zone. That touchdown brought to you by Donato's, and Coach Troy not wasting any time going from the fumble to the touchdown.
You know what, Andres? So you pick up the paper tomorrow, you see 6 minutes in the game, 10-0 Troy. You say, oh, Troy's killing him. Two bad snaps.
Right.
2 bad snaps. There he is, 53. Oh, my God. He's my man, Joe Cusick. Yeah, he's on my all-tough guy team. Here we go to PAT.
Lining up. It's up. Splitting the uprights. That's a 10-0 lead, and we are going to break right now. The Troy Trojans taking a 10-0 lead over the Sidney Yellow Jackets after the touchdown by Will Wolkey here at Troy Memorial Stadium. We'll be back right after this break. The Troy Trojans up 10-0 over the Sidney Yellow Jackets. And, Coach, when you fall behind early like that, as we look at the scoring summary brought to you by Rand Associates, what's your message to your team if you're on that Yellow Jacket sideline?
2 bad snaps. Hang in there. We'll be fine. Let's get the game into seeing who's tougher, who's more physical, just as simple as that. Hang in there. Hey, Andre.
Yes.
For first time ever, I'm picking a left guard for MVP at this game.
Whoa,
That's
okay.
Joe Cusick. He's pulling, he's kicking out, he's logging people. The plays don't go without him. I'm going to talk more about him later in the game. Joe Cusick, number 53. There's a squib kick again.
Absolutely.
Obviously, they don't want to kick it deep.
Kickoff brought to you by Wright and Schulte.
Well, there's some hitting out there.
Like you said, the Trojans really trying to limit the big plays. They want that offense on the field.
Yeah.
Talking to the team, the defense before that game, they said that this game really comes down to running the ball. A game that comes down to running the ball, they feel comfortable in winning. And right now we're going to toss it down to our own Bennett Wise on the sidelines for more.
Yeah, and Andre, as Sidney comes back out here on offense, we talked to some of them this week about playing Troy, and they said these seniors, they haven't beaten Troy at all in their 4 years, so they're playing with a little extra motivation tonight. They see this as a rivalry game, and senior safety Carter Ellsner told me, Pickler is our main rival, but Troy, we don't like Troy. But when we asked a couple of Troy players if they considered Sidney a rival, they said no. So that's an interesting dynamic that we got to look out for throughout tonight's game, is that motivation level and who wants it more.
Thank you, Bennett, as E.J. Davis picks up some big yards up the middle. We've seen him in the last 2 plays really show off his skill and what he can do on his feet. And Bennett mentioned it. Both of these teams have their eyes on Piqua, but Sidney, they don't want to leave their high school career saying they never won a game over Troy. As E.J. Davis is dragged down behind the line. That tackle led by number 34, Aiden Coleman.
Andre, defensive coordinator for Troy, he's a good one. His name is Jason Manson. All you people that follow high school football, you remember Jason Manson. He was the Ohio Player of the Year when he was in high school. Went on a tremendous career to University of Toledo, moved back home, lives in the Troy community, a well-known realtor here in town. Jason Manson, defense coordinator at Troy. Wife is a teacher. Family's really invested in the Troy community. Ohio Player of the Year. He loves to bring heat on defense. Jason Manson, defensive coordinator for the Troy Trojans.
And that's really got to help your team. If you're Troy, the guy that's there in the huddle with you, he knows what he's talking about. He's been there. He's done
Sidney,
that as the whistle blows.
Of the first half.
Sidney taking their first timeout of the first half. There's head coach Adam Dungus. He told us, Coach, that he would get E.J. Davis involved in a running game. We've seen that especially this drive, and most importantly, all of the snaps are going to him instead of over his head.
You know, I like what Adam Duncan is doing. You know, when things are going bad, there's a rule that good coaches know: simplify.
Right.
Go back to 2 or 3 plays that you know you can execute well when things are going bad. So that's what Coach Duncan did. He went back and said, okay, we're just going to snap the ball to EJ, let EJ carry the ball. Inside zone is the play that they're running, where EJ runs right at the center and reads his block. The rest of the linemen can take them whenever they go. That's why you call it zone blocking. They don't block a man, they block a zone. Let's see if he continues going to EJ on those zone reads and just keep it the most simple plays in their playbook, because things aren't going real great for Sidney on offense right now due to just being out of sync a little bit.
Absolutely, and if you find something that works, as they say, Coach, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Is E.J. Davis this time rolling to his left, looking to pass, and he's just going to keep it, lower his shoulder, and pick up a harder than 5 yards. And talking to him yesterday, he said he loves contact. That's why he likes defense. He likes hitting people. So as a quarterback, he said if he can find some green grass, he's not looking to run out of bounds, Coach. He's looking to deliver the pain.
You know, the decision to put E.J. Davis is tough, because now you might be down a little bit at the quarterback position because he hasn't played, not because he's not a good player, but now you're down a little bit at receiver where you take him out. You're down a little bit at linebacker. You can't let him play both ways, because if he gets hurt, you're down to your third quarterback.
Absolutely.
You got to protect him a little bit.
As the Jackets line up to punt.
Wow, what a punt.
A great one right over Will Wolkey's head, bouncing, and that's going to get downed within the 10-yard line.
You know, there's no play in football more than the punt. The more yardage is exchanged, positive or negative on both sides. You have a huge impact of yardage being changed, the kickoff being the second most one.
Great punt by Carson Taylor, as we see what this flag is. Oh, he says there is no penalty on the play. So the Trojans picking up this drive within their own 10-yard line, and that's a big change, seeing that where they started those last 2 drives, essentially in the red zone.
Now, let's see if the Yellow Jackets can catch their breath here. They got good field position. They're not backed up on the first play like they were the last series. Let's see what kind of defense they play in here, whether this gets them in the rhythm.
Absolutely. And, you know, Coach, we've talked a lot about E.J. Davis offensively, but you've got to keep in mind he's also one of the best defenders on this team at outside linebacker. And when you take a guy like that off of the field, it's going to leave a big gap. And as well, if you have any pictures of tonight's game or want to join in on the discussion online, follow us on Twitter at Dayton 24/7 now and use the hashtag Thursday Night Lights, as Troy hands the ball off to Nick Kawicki to pick up a few yards to get them past the 10-yard line.
You know that left guard I talked about, Joe Cusick? Listen to this. The program lists him at 235. He's actually 180 pounds.
Whoa.
You know how that happens, Andre? I had a player at Middletown one time. He wanted to appear bigger in the program, so he snuck 2 10-pound weights in his pocket when he went to weigh-ins. His name is Kevin Rose. So he was 180, and we put him in the program at 200. I've never heard anybody putting 2 25-pound weights in their pocket.
Right.
This Joe Cusick, though, he's a tough guy. He's on the gym place all the time. 180 pounds, led the program 230. He snuck in with 2 25-pound weights in his pockets.
As they bring a man in motion, Troy, that play blown dead. Let's see what the flag is. It's likely going to be a false start. It's going to back him up another 5 yards.
Dead ball. False start. Offense number 53. Half the distance to the goal. Second down.
Hey, this referee crew: Ryan Walters, Ed Yike, Kyle Butcher, Justin McCullough, Rob Coles, veterans. These guys, you know, I can remember them 25 years ago. Same crew, stay together. You know, they study film. Before the game, you and I were downstairs, and they were telling us about, Coach, we studied films of this game, studied films of that game. They want to be good. You know, these guys aren't in it for the money. Are you kidding me? Studying films and driving all over the country. They're in it because they love kids and they love the game. Thanks, guys. We need good officials.
We do, especially, like you said, an all-star cast on Thursday nights, as we have the outside handoff to Kawicki, brought down there at the 6-yard line. And Coach, we've talked about head coach Dan Grass and how he loves to run the ball. And I remember the last time I was here, it was for the Piqua game, and I watched Troy go on like a 15-play, 80-yard drive, and that ball never left the running back's hands. Runs on
Coach Dan Grass, he's a tough guy. There he is. Linebacker at Kent State. He doesn't look like it. He looks like a little line for that guy's tough. Oh, man, look at his neck. Look at his intensity. That is one tough guy there. Linebacker, Kent State University, big time, Mid-American Conference. Dan Gress, good one. Intense.
3rd and long, and we're going right back to the run, but this time it's bottled up off the middle by the Sidney Yellow Jackets with a flag. You saw a late push by one of those Sidney players, And that might be a huge
golden
mistake.
rule. The second push always gets seen by the officials.
Oh, man.
I saw the first push. Then you turn around and the number 6, one of the Sidney players pushed the Troy player.
Dead ball.
This is
personal
a killer.
foul. Defense number 63.
And defense,
15-yard penalty results in a first down.
Although, Andre, I'm going to go. Oh, coach is going to take him out. Oh,
Yep, that's Hayden Cottrell
They tell
being
him,
taken out of the game.
It's the second guy that always gets seen. Coach Dungus is really tearing into him. He told him that in practice. And I want to talk a little bit about a program that Coach Dungus does called E plus R equals O. We're going to talk about that later. But it's all about control. And then all of a sudden we see there's the first push. See it? There's the second push.
And that's the one right in front of the referee's face. He caught it. And
it's always the second one.
Man, that really hurts because you got them down, pinned within the 10-yard line. As Donnie Stanley fumbles the snap, he's rolling out to his right, looking for anything.
Oh, nice
hit. Brought down big by the pair of number 12 and number 46. That's Elijah Martin.
Andre, something I always do with my team. We did something in two days called the walk-away drill. We did it every year. We would take our best player, and he had to lay on the ground, and every player on the team insulted him. They came up, they called him every name you could think of, and he had to get up and walk away and walk off the field. There was nobody better at that than, of course, the great Javon Ringer. I can't tell you how many teams tried to get Javon to react to them and get kicked out of the game because they knew it'd be over. There was nobody classier and more controlled in themselves than the great Javon Ringer. Carried him, of course. Oh, there's a slip in the mud.
Man.
There's a slip in the mud.
Yep, we talked about that muddy, grassy field, and that's what's just going to happen sometimes.
Yeah.
You talked about that walk-away drill, Coach. That must have been fun for the players. I know they look forward to that one.
Get a chance to call Javon Ringer names, and the next call Dougie Lewis names down in Middletown. I did it for 40 years. Oh, there's the slip.
Yep, as we look at the Toyota replay, he just slips there around the 15-yard line, and with that walk-away drill, if somebody makes you mad in class or in the cafeteria, all right, I'll get you back at practice.
And, Andre, it could save a young man's life someday.
It could, absolutely.
You got to walk away.
That's a major
hard
skill
to do,
know.
hard to do, but it has to be done.
3rd and long, committing to the run are the Trojans, but that's also bottled up. A great job by the Sidney Yellow Jacket defense on this drive. You see the players with their hands up. They don't want any repeat of what happened last time. They're going to walk away, as you mentioned, as we've got 4th down, the Trojans bringing out the punt team.
Andre, over the years, Sidney has had trouble with discipline. They've lost games. There have been fights in games. It's just whatever. What is it about the personality? But they've done it. Coach Dungus has installed a program that I'm going to talk about a little bit later. It's called E plus R equals O. I'm going to talk about it.
I'm looking forward to that. As we have Jack Kleinhens punting this one deep. That one's going to bounce around the 40-yard line, roll to the 46 before finally being downed by the Trojans. Now Troy's defense coming back out in this one. As the first quarter comes to an end, we've got 4 seconds left in the quarter. The Jackets will have enough time for one play before we go to break as we look at the sunset. Beautiful sunset here at Troy.
What a setting. Troy is the picturesque Ohio Midwestern town. River running through the town. School and football on the other side. The other side, look at that picture of the county seat. The circle in town. Oh, just a wonderful town.
E.J. Davis with the quarterback draw up the middle, but he's hit by the big guys out there. Wow, Troy, number 44. Christopher Williams leading that tackle. As we head to break at the end of the first quarter, Troy 10, Sidney nothing. As we head to the second quarter, we'll be right back after this break. A beautiful view of the sunset and the courthouse here at Troy as we head back into Troy Memorial Stadium. The Trojans taking on the Sidney Yellow Jackets, up 10 as we start the second quarter. E.J. Davis receiving that snap. It's a read option. He keeps it, and he's going to fight his way back to the line of scrimmage. Maybe a gain of 1.
Coach Jason Manson, he's got that box packed. He's got 8 in the box. Sooner or later, Sidney's got to throw the ball. You know, I know they don't want to. Coach wants to control the game. And I think it'd be fine if it was still 3-0, but it's 10-0. Coach Dunges, I think, is going to have to throw the ball. Let's see what happens if forced in the passing situation.
Absolutely, because Troy, they know the run is coming. They know that Sidney's starting quarterback is out, and most importantly, those linebackers told me this is the kind of game they love.
Oh, yeah.
If you're just going to run the ball all game, that's what we want. So
look at how many guys Troy's got in the box there. They're all ganged up in the box. Even though it's 3rd and 11, here comes the heat.
Play action, getting it, the quick screen pass. Oh, and that ball knocked out. The Trojans falling on it, and that's going to be Troy ball. Another fumble recovery by the Trojans. The fans loving it in the stands. The players loving it. As we look at the Toyota replay. Quick screen pass. Everything was going good. The receivers, Sam Reynolds trying to fight for more, and that's just knocked out. Fallen on by J.J. McCoy.
You can't teach it. As we saw in the replay, you can't teach it any better than that. What you tell a player is put the helmet on the football. Yep. What you're really saying when you say put the helmet on football is put your shoulder into the man. You don't want to put the helmet into the man. That is unsafe, and it's not only unsafe, it's illegal. But when you say put it on the football, that means his head's going to the side and his shoulder's going in the middle. You know, tackling has changed, Andre. That we've gone to something called the rugby tackle now, where you take them down and you roll them. But there's sometimes like that where you got to take the guy head on. That's good old-fashioned football.
Ooh, Will Wolkey. Head over heels. That ball came out, but the referees rule him down on that play. Huge tackle by Isaiah Clark as we look at the replay. Wolkey trying to go airborne. And yeah, we do see the ground cause that ball to come out. As the Trojans once again have pretty good field position coming off of another takeaway. As we look at Will Wolkey jogging off the field. Wolkey already scoring 1 touchdown in this one. A 13-yard run up the middle. Donnie Stanley lining up in the shotgun. A big run up the middle by Nick Kawicki. Dragged down at the 37-yard line.
Inside zone. You just give it to the running back and you say run right at the center. The center's going to take his man one way or the other, and you cut off the way he is. Watch him run right at the center. Yep, there he took his man that way. You can run that way. It's a pretty simple read. Everybody else zone block.
Now we've got
Lyman loved the zone block.
Oh, man.
Yeah, he's in the zone.
Flags flies. Both teams point at one another.
Dead ball. Encroachment.
That's going to be encroachment.
Andre, let me talk about E plus R equals O.
Absolutely.
E stands for event. R stands for response, and O means outcome. And the bottom line there is you have to press the pause button is the big thing. In other words, here's the event, the response, and then it dictates your outcome. Coach is huge on that. There's the inside zone again. That E plus R equals O, that comes from a man named Jack Canfield, who wrote the Chicken Soup books, and it's huge, but it really became popular because Urban Meyer brought it in. Urban Meyer brought Jack Canfield in to teach it to his team. He wrote it in his book. Now high schools all over the country, not only football programs are putting that in, but the main message there is take a pause, stop and think, don't just react. That's why Coach was so upset when the shoving on the second shove occurred.
Absolutely. As we've got another run up the middle. He ran into a wall there. And you see, once again, Coach, you mentioned that program. These Trojans are coming out of the pile with their hands up. They want them to know there's no extracurricular activities happening down there because talking to these players, they say that the personal fouls, the late shoves, the stuff like that,
they'll kill you.
Cost them games in the past. As we see,
78, big Jaden Swiger. He's had about 3 of those tackles behind the line of scrimmage. He's had a good ball game. 6'3", 222 senior. He's having a good night. Oh, Jaden Swiger. Another play by Swiger.
Oh, and that ball's out. Recovered by Sidney. But the referees saying he was down on the play.
Swiger, he's all over the field.
Absolutely.
Having a big game. You know, we talk about the E plus R, it was O. Every Wednesday since June all the way till now, Coach Dungus takes 1 hour to go over that and make sure he stresses that to his team. That's why he was so upset about that foul. And I don't blame Coach. Absolutely. When you make that special point, but you know what? The young man, he got shoved, walk-away drill. Swigert's all over the place. He's making a lot of plays. I like that guy, 78.
Here. Donnie Stanley lining up in the shotgun once again. Play action. He's rolling to his left, pump faking, and now he's trying to make something happen with his feet, but there's no going there. Dragged down by that Jackets defense led by Wyatt Biddle. A flag on the play, though.
Oh no. Let's see if we can see the penalty on the replay here.
Pump
There's
fake
a nice
Stanley
play by Biddle.
looking for any and everybody.
Biddle.
Biddle wrapping up and bringing them down, but did anything
They
happen
call a
after
late
the
hit
play?
there.
The referee is huddling up to talk about what just happened. This is a huge call right here because we saw the Trojans get a free first down essentially when it was 3rd and 2 on that encroachment call. Last drive, we saw the personal foul give them another free first down. And when you make a big stop on 4th down, Coach, that's a momentum
What do we
swing.
got for a call? Oh, absolutely. This is huge.
Dead ball.
Dead
Personal
ball.
foul. Offense number 53.
Oh, I didn't see. 53. That's my man Joe
Dead
Cusick.
ball. Unsportsmanlike. Defense number 6. Those penalties occurred after the change of possession. They will offset.
Dead ball.
It is first down for Sidney.
Those fouls on Devin Taborn and your guy, Coach, Joe Cusick.
Oh, Joe. Say it's not true, Joe. Remember, Joe, I'm backing you for MVP. Hey, I like that Joe Cusick, though. He's a student up at Upper Valley GVS. He wants to be a diesel mechanic. He says, Coach, all I want to do is work. He says, I'm an American. I want to go to work. I want to be a diesel mechanic. I want to pay my taxes. He's got a mullet. He says, Coach, I love the women love my mullet, he says. He says, Coach, I'm a ladies' man. Remember, this is the guy that I think, I can't prove it, put 2 25-pound weights in his pants somehow when he weighed in. I like that guy. All right, let's see if Sidney can get anything going here. Oh, I like that mullet on my man Joe.
Oh, yeah, mullet. You know,
he wants to work. He wants to work.
Business in the front, party in the back.
Yeah.
As that handoff goes up the middle, Sidney grinding a bunch of yards, getting down to the 36. Attention high school administrators, football coaches, and boosters. If you want your school to be a part of the Premier Health Thursday Night Lights Rundown presented by Cincinnati Toyota Dealers next year, let us know. Send us an email at comments@Dayton247now.com. Once again, we're getting close to the 7-minute mark in the second quarter. Troy up 10-0 over the Sidney Yellow Jackets.
Still no passes out of Sidney.
Another run up the middle, grinding maybe about 2 yards on that play. That Trojans defense stacking the box. They know what's coming.
Hey, listen, Troy's become linebacker university. Evan Jones, 3-year starter, number 41. Kristen Williams, number 44, 2-year starter. J.J. McCoy, number 5, 3-year starter. And Aiden Coleman, he's a junior, and he's a first-year starter. This is linebacker. Remember this, though. Their head coach, Coach Grease, he was a linebacker in college. Jason Manson, he was a linebacker in college. No wonder it's linebacker university. You got linebackers everywhere around here.
And on 3rd and 5, Davis jumping for the snap, catching it, keeping it, and he's getting dragged down behind the line by a bevy of Trojans, led by the guy who wrapped him up around the ankles and led to everybody else making that tackle. Big play by Gavin Burris as E.J. Davis walks off the field. Another 4th down for the Jackets.
I think at some point, Coach Adam Dungans has to face reality. We got to throw the ball a little bit, loosen him up. I know he doesn't want to, but he's going to be forced to do that to loosen him up. His defense keep him in the ball game. We
saw a phenomenal punt last time by the Jackets.
This
one, a short one, and we've got a return. He's got some room along that sideline, pushed out around the 38-yard line. Is Nick Wolkey. And yeah, Coach, as you mentioned, just Sidney really hasn't been able to get anything going offensively. A lot of the reason for that being that it's just predictable. You talked about the great linebackers that Troy has, and this is a linebacker's dream now.
Yeah, when you got to loosen them up, maybe a little play action, and Coach Dungans will get it going. Coach Dungans, he's a good one. He graduated from the University of Dayton, and then he's been right to Sidney High School, been there 17 years, been the head coach there for 11 years.
As Donnie Stanley lines up in the shotgun. Drops back to pass this time, and he's taking a shot. Deep! Oh, bouncing off his left hand. He wants a penalty. It doesn't look like it's going to come. Jack Kleinhans with the opportunity to make a huge play. And, Coach, that pass not completed, but talking to the team from what they've seen from Donnie Stanley as we watch the Toyota replay, they say Donnie's got an arm. That one narrowly bouncing off the left hand of Jack Kleinhans. Great coverage on the play by Isaiah Clark.
Yeah, Isaiah got a hand in there just at the last minute, knocked it away. Nice coverage, Isaiah. You know, one of the things you want to do as a defensive back, and the receiver's going on that fade route, squeeze him. Keep pushing him into the sideline so that he runs himself out of bounds. Remember, once he puts a foot out of bounds, he's done.
Absolutely.
Squeeze that wide receiver.
Back
inside
to the running
zone.
game. Kawaki bouncing it outside, lowering the shoulder, going down at the 41-yard line. And when you bring Donnie Stanley into the game, coaches and players told us he may not be able to do what his predecessor could on the ground. As we look at Nick Kawaki straightening up his shoulder pads, Donnie Stanley isn't the threat on the ground that Josh Mayfield is, but he has a big arm, and as we saw on first down, he's not afraid to use it.
It was a nice pass.
It was.
Just off the fingertips.
And when you've been running the ball, lulling the defense to sleep, you can make a big play like that. As Stanley rolls to his right, throwing on the run, he's got Nick Wolkey, but he's going to get brought down short of the first down line. We saw the Trojans go for it on fourth in a similar situation last possession. We'll see what they choose to do here.
Sure looks like they're going for it.
Yeah, I don't see any punters on the field.
Defensive coordinator for Sidney is Kyle Coleman. He's a former head coach himself, which adds a lot of experience. He's been in these situations before. Another fourth down. Trips to the left. Let's see if they run that flood pattern again.
Donnie Stanley rolling to the
Same
left.
pattern.
Throw on the run. Oh, it's low, and Jack Kleinhans could not come up with that one. The Trojans defense celebrating as we head to break. Troy up 10-0 over Sidney here at Troy Memorial Stadium. We'll be right back. We are back here in Troy Memorial Stadium. The Trojans up 10-0 over the Sidney Yellow Jackets. And we're going to send it down to the sidelines. Bennett Wise, real quick.
Well, Sidney's coming back here out on offense, and quarterback E.J. Davis found out 6 days ago that he was going to be leading the offense tonight. And he got a call around 10:45 after the loss against Piqua, and his coach and staff told him that they want him on the helm, and he said, let's do it. He said, it's been difficult because he's had to focus so much more than his typical route running at wide receiver. He said the hardest part is being able to read the defense, but he said he's ready for any challenge.
And there's a challenge right there as we see another aristocrat first down. Big play by E.J. Davis. No huddle. Read option. Davis getting around the outside. Nobody can bring him down. Lowering his shoulder once again. Brought down by Jack Kleinhans.
Hey, Coach Dungas is sticking with it. This is our game plan. He says, this is the girl I brought to the dance, and I'm taking her. I'm not taking another girl home. This is our game plan. EJ brought us to the dance. I'm going home with him.
We're going to slow dance. We're going to waltz all over this football field. EJ Davis with a couple big stiff arms on that play. A big 6-yard pickup at 2nd and 4. This time, quick screen pass. Picking up the first down and about 9 yards is Sam Reynolds. And when you do want to get that ball out of E.J. Davis's hand, get him to throw a little bit, get his confidence up, those quick completions can really help.
And the offensive line was getting out there and getting blocks, really looked good.
That's another aristocrat first down as we look at the Toyota replay.
Look at those linemen getting out there blocking.
Yep.
Hey, the offensive coordinator for Sidney is Britton Devier. He's a former head coach. He's been a head coach about 3 different places. He's a PhD.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. This is a smart guy, and a lot of experience. Both coordinators for Sidney are former head coaches. That shows a lot of confidence on Coach Dungas. Sometimes, oh, boy, that's a tough sign.
You don't want to see
down,
that.
We go to number 3 quarterback, and that's
timeout.
Coach's nightmare right there.
Sidney taking a timeout just to sort that whole situation out. The Trojans up 10-0 over the Jackets. We'll see if E.J. Davis can come back into this game right after this break. We're back at Troy Memorial Stadium, and let me tell you, you don't want to miss the Wright and Schulte Thursday Night Lights halftime show. We'll have interviews with school administrators and Jeff Schmidt Auto Group Scholar Athletes of the Week with their plaque presentation.
Hey, Andre, number 4, E.J. Davis is back. Hey, I'm missing somebody up here in the booth. What about our man, Doug Brown? I'm going to talk about him after. Where's Brownie?
He's on the injury reserve list this week as we see the run up the middle, picking up about a yard or two for the Jackets. But, yeah, Stepping in some big shoes today, Coach.
Oh, you're doing a good job. But my man Brownie, he is a fixture in high school athletics in Miami Valley. Over 40 years working around high school athletics. A little physical setback. He'll be back now. Brownie, get better. I know you're listening, but Doug Brown, get better. We miss you, brother. Andre, and we're doing fine here. And we look for you next week. But get better, Brownie.
Absolutely, Doug. Get better. I'll say one thing I appreciate about getting in the booth is it's kind of cold down there, Doug. You know how I feel about this Ohio weather, being from Louisiana, as we see E.J. Davis
back, don't you?
rolling left. I'll put on a coat if it means Doug comes back. Big
my
play
God.
by the Jackets. E.J. Davis rolling left and throwing deep to Julius Spradling, who laid out full extension for the catch. Down at the 3-yard line is Spradling. That's another aristocrat first down for the Jackets.
E plus R equals O. Coach Dungus. Have him hang in there.
Getting right back to the line is Sidney. The run up the middle doesn't go anywhere, though. E.J. Davis on that run. Sidney has entered the Donato's delivery zone. Donato's Pizza. It's a great call for after the game. Order online for pickup or deliver at donatos.com.
Nice
Every piece is important.
catch.
That catch is important.
That's a freshman.
The freshman Julius Spradling.
Yeah.
Wow, what a play to get the Jackets down to the 3-yard line. And now they're knocking on the door of their first score of the game.
Hey, talk about the booth. Seth Cooper, he's our technical advisor up here in the booth. Tomorrow night, he's in the Vandalia Butler Alumni Band. He's the main guy. He'll be leading them out there. Seth, have a good time, and go Aviators tomorrow night. My main man, Seth.
Heron Tucker in the game at quarterback now as the Jackets hand it off up the middle. We saw E.J. Davis go over to the sidelines. He is not feeling great right now, so now they're having to bring in their third-string quarterback, Heron Tucker, the sophomore, 5'9", 148 pounds. On 3rd and goal, needing to make one of the biggest plays of this game so far. Coach, you've got a quarterback in there on a big down. Do you let him throw the ball, or do you just try to keep him comfortable and run the ball?
Timeout.
I think you go confidence.
Troy.
Let him throw the ball. He's a football player. He's been playing football since the 3rd or 4th grade. This is his chance. He's dreamed of it. Give him a chance.
Absolutely. And if you're E.J. Davis, you've had to do a lot in this game, just running the ball play after play, really taking charge of the offense. As Bennett said, the studying that it takes coming into this game. We really hope E.J.'s all right. And Heron Tucker, he's got
it.
him
On camera. Seth wave. Show him
hey, there we go.
There's Seth. There's that Vandalia. Oh, they're fired up down Vandalia tomorrow. Give him a wave, Seth.
Oh, yes.
They're fired up in Vandalia. Hey, there's Coach Adam Dungus. I want to talk about Adam. He's a math teacher. He's a serious guy. He's got a philosophy. The better the coach you are, the better teacher. 7 of his 9 assistant coaches teach in the building.
Wow.
And the superintendent and the principal would say, Coach Adam, bring us a good coach and promise he's a good teacher. They put him in the building. His wife, Emily, they're runners. They love to run. Listen to this. They run this summer in the Piqua 8-hour run. They ran for 8 hours, he and his wife, Emily.
Wow. That timeout letting E.J. Davis come back into the game. Handoff up the middle. We've got to push, and he's into the end zone.
We got a ball game, Andre. We got a ball game.
Oh, yeah. The Jackets with their first score of the game. This touchdown brought to you by Donato's. Huge run by the running back. Looked like Miles Vordemark. Miles getting the handoff up the middle. He stopped, but his guys are pushing him. He says, Miles, we've got your back.
Yeah. That offensive line for Sidney. Power football. Evan Kennedy, Jaden Bishop, Brandon Barnes, Hayden Cottrell, Tommy Seibert, 6'6", 271,
That's
big
their
Tommy.
last of the first half.
Sidney taking their last timeout of the first half with 59 seconds left, maybe cooking up a 2-point conversion play.
Yeah, we got a big play here. Hey, I want to talk a little more about Coach Dungus and his wife, Emily. They ran in the 8 hours. They ran for 8 hours.
Oh.
Guess how many miles Coach did? He finished 3rd place. He ran 37 miles in the 8 hours.
Oh, my goodness.
His wife, Emily, she only ran for 4 hours. She ran 17 miles, went 1st place. Adam and his wife, first-class people. He's really all into it. He played at St. Mary's. Yeah, played over at St. Mary's. Wing T guy, UD grad 2005. Oh, he's just a good guy. 2017 Southwest Ohio Coach of the Year. Team went 9-1, beat Belmont in the playoffs, then they lost to a really strong LaSalle team, which everybody in Division II does. Finished 10-2. Coach Dungus got Coach of the Year honors.
running 8 miles is crazy. The only thing I can really do for 8 hours is sleep. I mean, for him to run for 8 hours, I mean.
You're my man, Andre.
E.J. Davis getting the snap on a 2-point conversion, rolling back into his right. That pass into the grass here at Troy Memorial Stadium. This score going to stay 10-6. The Troy Trojans with the big stop on the 2-point conversion.
And number 5, the Heat, J.J. McCoy, one of those senior linebacker you guys that Coach Gress loves. He's a linebacker. Coach Jason Marson, he was a linebacker. J.J. McCoy, number 5, Heat from the linebacker. Look, there's Coach Gress. We'll talk about him. Played at Northmont, loves Dan Snyder, loves his college coach. Marcus Freeman. I think Bennett's going to talk about that a little bit later.
Absolutely.
But, man, this is linebacker U.
This scoring summary brought to you by Rand Associates. And, Coach, we've seen Sidney kick off short with a lot of squib kicks early, but at the end of the half, you obviously really don't want Troy scoring before they go into the locker room. They might take a chance and maybe kick it deep to those playmakers back there.
I think he called it on the squib kick or the bloop kick, one of the two. You know, you look right in the middle of the field there. You know, Troy set up in a 4-3 set. They got a nice soft spot right around the 35-yard line. I think they bloop it into that area. Let's see what happens. You say that and you pretend like the kicker can put it anywhere he wants to.
Right.
You know, high school kickers, it's an adventure.
This kickoff brought to you by Ryden Schulte. Another squib kick gathered at the 20-yard line. Some space around the outside, but no way. He's tripped up by Julius Spradling, the freshman that made the big catch down at the 3-yard line on offense. Big game for the freshman.
And he's only a freshman. We're going to hear about him for the next 4 years.
Absolutely.
Nice,
and he plays a little bit everywhere. He's listed as a quarterback, but we saw him line up at receiver earlier. He's a DB as well. Kickoff team. The young man, Julius Spradling, with a huge early impact on this game. 53 seconds left in the half. Troy's got 2 timeouts and a quarterback who we saw him take a deep shot earlier. He's not afraid to throw it, but they're going to run it up the middle. Offensive line pushing towards the 30-yard line. 47 seconds left, and that clock ticking.
Offensive coordinator for Troy is Jason McGarahan. All you folks over in New Bremen remember him. He used to be the head coach over there. What a community New Bremen is. Great community over there. He played football at Ohio Northern University. Jason McGarren, former head coach. You know, I was talking about that earlier. It takes a lot of confidence for a head coach to hire assistant coaches who are former head coaches because they all got that little, you know, I want to do things my own way kind of mentality. It takes a lot of confidence in head coaches to hire these veterans. Another handoff up the middle to Jahari Ward. He's tackled by about 7 Sidney Yellow Jackets. Carson Robers, 6', 221 senior. Sidney's defensive front coming on. We got a good first half. Low scoring, 10-6. Muddy uniforms, tough physical football player, pushing, shoving. Oh my God, I love this physical football. That's the kind of game you look forward to if you're a high school player. You don't. Oh man, you sleep real good the night before you come out here. You know what? These are two what I call one high school towns. Troy High School from Troy, Ohio. Sidney High School from Sidney, Ohio. The name of the school reflects the town. Tremendous pride in these communities. Both of these teams have had tremendous tradition over the years. When we come back for second half, I want to talk a little bit about the Sidney tradition when they went 30-0 back in the 60s. As a matter of fact, their stadium's called 30-0 Stadium. Troy High School, Bob Ferguson, All-American at Ohio State, pro player. To both these towns, tremendous football communities. Yes, and we talked about head coach Dan Gress earlier, and Bennett's actually got him down on the field before he heads into the locker room.
Now, Coach, you've got the lead up here at the half. What have you liked so far?
I like how we've taken advantage of the turnovers in special teams, so we got to continue that in the second half.
Now, one big thing that you wanted to do was establish the run early and let Donnie be a little bit more comfortable throwing the ball. Is that what you've seen and are going to do more in the second half?
Yeah, we definitely have some adjustments to make right now going into halftime. They've done a tremendous job really clogging up the inside gap, so we have adjustments to make this halftime.
I appreciate it, Coach. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bennett, as we come back up here, and we're going to look at this marching band, the sweet sounds here at Troy Memorial. We're going to toss the break here at halftime. Trojans up 10-6 over the Sidney Yellow Jackets.
2021 season, the Jeff Schmidt Auto Group will recognize an exceptional senior student scholar athlete from each participating school. Here are this week's Jeff Schmidt Auto Group scholar athletes. Jenna is on the softball team and is the all.
And we're here with one of this week's scholar athletes. This is Jenna Smith of Sidney High School. She is on the softball team. And Jenna, when did you start playing softball?
I started playing softball when I was about 8 years old, and I played on the same travel team every summer for about 8 years, and I just finished that last summer. And then my freshman year, I played on varsity, so I've been a 4-year varsity letter. And I played at left field the first year, and then I've been the starting center fielder for the past 3 years.
What do you like so much about softball?
I like softball. I first started liking it when I was younger, and they had me bat left-handed, and I'm right-handed, but left-handed was a new adventure for me, and so I would be a slapper, and it was just something different that I really liked. And then he got me into bunting, and I was super good at it, and it just made me feel oh, I'm really good at this, I should keep doing it.
And then also outside of a 4.29 GPA, you are heavily involved outside of the classroom. So what is one thing that you're involved in?
The best thing that I'm involved in, I would say, is being vice president of FFA.
And what is FFA?
Future Farmers of America.
All right. And also, you got a big decision coming up about college. What are you interested in studying? And then also, where do you want to go?
I'm interested in something math related, maybe. I'm not quite sure what yet. And then maybe to go to UC or Ohio State.
All right, Jenna, thank you so much. That is one of this week's scholar athletes.
From Troy High School, William Wolkey. William is on the football, baseball, and track team. He is a 3-year varsity letterman and is actively involved in the community. He volunteers at the Strawberry Festival, St. Patrick's Soup Kitchen, the Lincoln Community Center, and youth football camps, and has a 4.303.
And we are here with our second scholar athlete of the week. This is William Wolkey of Troy High School, and you play 3 different sports. So, what is your favorite and why?
I'd say football's been my favorite. I've just grown to like that one the best, been able to go out there and compete, so that's been fun for me.
Now, one of your community involvements is you're a volunteer at the Troy Strawberry Festival. That is an event in and of itself. It's a wonderful event. So why did you start volunteering, and what do you do?
I just started volunteering just to, help out the community. And I've been doing stuff such as helping with the Rotary Lemonade Shake-Up tent and stuff like that.
Now, you got a big decision coming up here as a senior. Have you started thinking about college at all? What do you want to study?
I've thought about either majoring in something like business or the medical field, so that's been my choice right now.
Now, I see your Ohio State sweatshirt. Is that where you want to go to school?
That's one of my choices, but I haven't decided yet.
All right. Do you have any other top schools that you're looking at the moment?
I've been looking at Miami and UC right now. So,
as a Miami guy, I'm a little biased towards that. But, William, thank you so much. That is our second Scholar Athlete of the Week.
The Jeff Schmidt Auto Group is proud to sponsor the Scholar Athlete Award, featured on Thursday Night Lights. We are honored to recognize these scholar athletes from all over the Miami Valley for their outstanding academic and athletic achievement.
Halftime is brought to you by Wright and Schulte.
And welcome back to Troy Memorial Stadium, where the Trojans lead the Yellow Jackets 10-6. And I'm pleased to be joined by the principal of Troy High School, Dave Dilbone. And Dave, the atmosphere here has been amazing between the fans, the band. Everybody seems so spirited. What makes Troy High School so special?
We just have a great community. I'm so proud of the Trojan family. We talk about that a lot here at Troy High School. And so there's just so many great things that we have here. Recently, the Dayton Business Journal ranked us the 10th best public high school in the greater Dayton area. And great schools today came out with a College Success Award, gold distinction. First time they've ever had that award. We're one of about 1,700 high schools across the country that received that. So just really excited to be a part of this great school, this great community, tremendous staff and students. And we couldn't do all those great things without all of those people.
Now, it has been such a different year, a special year. How has the Troy community really built together and come out and helped everyone else?
It's been again, it's been tremendous. Our students, they always rise to the occasion, and regardless of the circumstances, whether that's COVID or whether that's some of our different successes or challenges, the student body at Troy High School is unlike any place I've ever worked. And again, that's because of our supportive community and just our parents and all of the people that rally around us.
Well, Dave, thank you very much for hosting us. And on the other side of this break, we'll be talking to the athletic director of Sidney High School. Lead 10-6 over the Sidney Yellow Jackets, and I'm joined right now by the athletic director of the Sidney High School, and Mitch Hoeing. And Mitch, this year is so much different than last year. What has this been so special about?
Well, I think the key for us is just having fans in the stands. For example, Sidney and Troy is a wonderful rivalry. We didn't even get to play the game last year. Last year, we came down with COVID week 10, and the game didn't even take place. So, right now it's a great setting because most of our activities are up and running. Last week we had elementary night against Pickle. We had over 650 elementary kids plus their families at the game. It generated the second largest crowd we've ever had at Sidney Memorial. It's great to have the teams back in play, fans in the stands, and just an opportunity for people to get back to normal for what they expect from high school athletics.
Now, seeing this football team, last week was a loss to Pickwick, but the week before that, you got 2 big wins. So what has it been about this football team?
Well, first and foremost, for us, Pick was a very strong team. No doubt we were running uphill last week, but in our league, basically, if you play well, you have a chance to win most nights. There's a bunch of coin flip games like tonight, to be honest with you. It's 10-6. We came in a little banged up at the quarterback position, but we're hanging right in there, and if we catch a break in the second half, we might win. It's great being in the Miami Valley League where week in and week out, if you take care of your end of it, you're going to have a good chance to win. So it's quite exciting.
Well, Mitch, thank you very much for joining us, and good luck here in the second half. And we will be right back in the second half and more here on Thursday Night Lights.
Trying to do a bubble screen. Interception by the Warriors. They're going to try to take it all the way back. Seth Hampton into the end zone. The defense puts 6 on the board.
Shotgun snap. Drop. Picked up. Good job by Ricks picking it up. Throws left. Has one-on-one coverage and a catch. What a catch made that time.
Great catch.
Under pressure. Dumps it off or tried to dump it off to the tailback. Incomplete, but we do have a flag on the play. Now, was this a lateral or was this an incomplete pass? As Bennett picks it up and rumbles into the end zone.
It was a short kick, though. There's a bad snap once again. He gets the ball away, and everybody's going to clear away, but except for Elijah Ray. Ray's going to pick it up. He's going to go down and into the end zone for a touchdown.
The screen, it's intercepted. Taken out of the air. The lineman screen, he rumbles into the end zone.
Steve going outside. They're going to have to punt the ball away. It's blocked. It's blocked. He gets his feet in. That's a touchdown.
Swain strung out, not going to get it. Evan McCracken.
We'll throw it out in the flat to Marsh. Look out. Marsh breaks another tackle, dancing to the 3, spins to the 2. Touchdown! New Braunfels! At least it's getting to see new teams.
1, 6, 7. We're back here at Troy Memorial Stadium where the Trojans lead the Yellow Jackets by a score of 10-6. I'm now joined by the head coach of the Sidney Yellow Jackets, And Coach, first half, down by 4 going in. What adjustments are you making coming out in the second half?
We just need to settle. We obviously didn't get off to the greatest start with a couple bad snaps and some fumbles, but I think we've settled in, and the kids are going to keep competing. I'm proud of how they responded with a little bit of adversity there in the first half, and we're excited for the second half.
One big thing was trying to stop the run and the different looks that Troy has given you and filling in different gaps. How would you assess that so far?
No, it's definitely they present some problems just by alignment, and I think our kids, our back end kids, are getting kids set. Our linebackers are doing a nice job of getting everyone set. So I'm sure they're going to have a couple more things here for our second half, but the kids have done a nice job adjusting to some of those formations.
And EJ Davis, we saw him get shaken up a little bit. You know, what's the status of him, and will he be okay?
Yeah, no, he's good. He's just a tough-nosed kid. I mean, he's a linebacker playing quarterback right now, and he's a tough-nosed kid, so he'll be good for the second half.
Well, Coach, thank you and good luck.
Thanks, appreciate it.
And now, Andre, Coach, back up to you.
Thank you, Bennett. As we head into the second half, Sidney down to Troy 6-10 so far. And, you know, Coach, talking to the Troy Trojans, they told us that it's all about finishing things against the jacket pack, as we see that sign right there. But first, let's get to some first half highlights from this game.
There's that down and out.
Yep,
Power football.
Great carry by Wolkey.
There at 53. He leads it up in there.
High snap to Davis. Pump fake. Hit as he throws. And that's going to get picked off there by that Troy defense. Wyatt Davis, one of the big playmakers that the team told us to watch for there. This time, Davis scrambling to his left. Throwing it up deep. A much better result on that one. The big catch by the freshman, Julius Spradley. Down to the 3-yard line, and Sidney would finish it off with the big run up the middle for a touchdown. That was their first score of the ball game, giving them 6 points. As we look at our sign, Thursday Night Lights, My TV Dayton. That's us right there. And, you know, talking to Troy before the game, they really said that there have been a lot of times this season where they've been up, they've been in a good situation, but they ran into maybe a mental lapse. And coming out of the second half, they're up by 4 points, 10-6 ball game. They really want to focus on finishing this game, Coach, as we look at ourselves right there.
Good shot, Andre. Hey, hi, everybody out there. Hey, Andre, we had a great halftime here. The bands were great. I love the halftime interviews. But how about this press box? Woo. They brought out a mammoth plate of pulled pork and mac and cheese, and then hot fudge sundaes for dessert. Man. You know what, Joni would be proud of me. You know why, Joni? Because I really, really fought hard about not taking them, because I know that I shouldn't have 2 dinners in one night. But I'll tell you, it was great. Scott Stanley and Kim Ketchum, they're running things here in the press box. They took care of us. You know, next week, Andre, you and Lindsay and Brownie are going to be down there at Bellbrook for a good ball game. I'm going to be back up here at Troy. I like this pulled pork and hot fudge sundaes. I tried so hard to say no. Joni, you'd be proud of me how hard I thought about it.
This kickoff brought to you by Wright and Schulte.
We got a whistle.
Blown dead by the whistle. But yeah, you know, if you're getting another plate of pulled pork, maybe drive it up to me at halftime.
Oh, for sure. Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Kim.
Pulled pork.
Excellent halftime.
Yeah, 2 great bands out there on the field. A great meal up here in the press box.
You know, it's nice to see a 20-minute halftime. You know, when both bands don't play, you usually go with a 15-minute halftime. When only one band plays, when both bands play, you go 20-minute halftime. That means football's back. Yep. I want to see both. Bring the visiting team's band in. Let us see what they got. And, you know, let these young people in the bands play. Bring them to the games. It was nice to see a 20-minute halftime. COVID, we've been taken away out of that.
Another squib kick by the Sidney Yellow Jackets. This kickoff right by Wright and Schulte. The Trojans looking for some space around the outside. However, Colin Stoltz taken down. The Trojans coming out for their first offensive drive of this half. And we saw Donnie Stanley doing a lot of handing off in the first half, really establishing that run. But we saw it. If he lulls this defense to sleep, he's got the arm to take a big shot down the field.
Let's see what offensive coordinator Jason Gonahan's got up his sleeve.
Stanley lining up alongside J.J. McCoy in the backfield. He's going to hand it off. McCoy looking for space around the right side. Great tackle by Sidney's Miles Vordemark.
Well, that's a corner coming up. You know, he's a cover guy, but he's coming up on the run support. That's a good job. 5'11", 100-pound junior, Miles Vordemark. He's been all over the field tonight.
So now we've got 2nd and 9 for the Trojans. You love a cornerback that loves to tackle. You know, some of those guys, they just want to sit back in their zone, maybe man up, but this is a physical football team.
Yes, it is.
As Donnie hands it off to J.J. McCoy again. Big stiff arm at the 35-yard line. That's going to be close to the first down line. Going to be 3rd and very short. 3rd and 5 for the Trojans. Sidney needing a big stop here, coming out into the second half, being able to force the Trojans to go 3 and out or maybe even 4 and out, because we've seen Troy go for it on 4th down a couple times so far. That would be a big deal for them. 3rd and 5, lining up once again in that pistol. Stanley throwing the screen pass to the outside, and they're going to pick up the 1st down with that one. Willie Ritchie running into.
The offensive linemen love that play. Because you know what it's called? Take a drop spec and go find a little guy and run over top of him. Because those little guys have been making fun of them all the time and this, that, and the other thing. Those little guys look good in running drills. Offensive linemen love that quick pass. Find the smallest guy you can find and run over top of him.
That's another Arby's 1st down picked up there by the Trojans off the quick screen. Oh, and that's a bad snap for the Trojans. Donnie Stanley falling on it all the way back at the 25. So essentially all the work they've done on this possession wiped away by the bad snap. We saw a couple of those from Sidney in the first half as we look at the replay. The first one by Troy. And now, Coach, you're on the 2nd and long. This is a very tough position if you're the Trojans. Do you look for maybe a big passing play to get some of those yards back? Do you run the ball and play it safe?
Well, I know Coach Dan Gress, they've got it in their playbook. All right, what's the one time during the game where we have to take a chance? Maybe we got a trick play or a play that we haven't shown before. They're going to what's called a wide bunch out here. Let's see if they do anything off of that. No, just going to run it.
Thrown down in the backfield by the Sidney Yellow Jackets. That tackle led by, I feel like I've said his name 20 times today, but there's Isaiah Clark with another big one.
He's a corner. These corners for Sidney, they're coming up and making tackles. These guys are aggressive. I like that.
Oh, yeah. We've talked about E.J. Davis on offense, the quarterback this game, but typically he's a linebacker. And with him gone, these DBs talked about really having to fill that void that he leaves, and tackles like that.
Run this one.
That's how you do it. Yep. You're right, Coach. Playing it safe, running to the outside, picking up about 3 yards is J.J. McCoy. And Troy, they're going to be forced to punt this ball away on their first possession of the second half. Sidney's defense hype after that one. There's the other guy we were talking about, Miles Vordermark.
He's the other corner.
Yep.
Oh, my gosh, these corners, they're all over the place.
5'11 junior, 180 pounds with the big tackle.
I like these two guys.
Oh, yeah, they've got some corners that can hit.
Punt block.
Yeah, they're bringing the heat.
Here they come.
They're not going to get it. That punt wobbling out to the 46-yard line. It's going to take a Sidney-friendly bounce to the 45. The Jackets coming out with pretty good field position on their first offensive possession of the half.
Coach Stongas, he preached that E plus R equals O. Control your pause. Control your motions. Every Wednesday for June, July, August, and September, they took 1 hour to talk about that. I mean, it's a commitment by Coach. It's showing off their patience. They're controlling their pause. Hey, how about the outside linebacker coach for Troy, Gene Steineke? All you UD football fans, you remember Gene. He was a great one for the Flyers and Coach Mike Kelly.
Another quarterback draw by E.J. Davis as he's ganged up on in the backfield. He's going to lose about 2 yards on that play.
Yeah, Gene Steineke played in 98, played for Mike Kelly. Every one of those Mike Kelly guys, man, those UD guys. He played here at Troy also. Boy, they love playing for Coach Mike Kelly. Gene Steineke, he's been here. He's a Troy legend.
E.J. Davis getting the call there as he sprints back to the huddle. And by the way, guys, if you have any pictures of tonight's game or even want to join in on the discussion online, follow us on Facebook at Dayton 24/7 Now, and make sure to use the hashtag Thursday Night Lights. The Jackets lining up in that pistol again. E.J. Davis handing it off up the middle to the big man, Martez Harris, rumbling forward for about 4 or 5 yards and making this a more manageable 3rd down, Coach, because I was listening to the Mannings on ESPN's broadcast the other day, and they really talked about 3rd down is won on 1st and 2nd down, and the yards that you're able to pick up there.
3rd and 9 now. Hey, I like Harris. That was a zone play where he's supposed to cut. He doesn't cut off anybody. Harris says, give me the ball. I'm going straight ahead. I don't care about reading anything. I like the physical football. Both these teams like physical football.
Absolutely.
I like Harris. He's tough.
Yeah, if you get in his way, he's not going around you. Let's just say that. He's going through you. Davis with the play action, pump fake, rolling out to his left, and he's going to slip on that wet, muddy grass. We've seen that a couple of times, and now it's going to be 4th and long for the Jackets. Great defensive stand by the Troy Trojans.
Hey, he's a frustrated, but good call, EJ. It wasn't there. Tuck it down. Don't give them the big play. Simple as that.
So now the Jackets back to punt this one away. You've got Will Wolkey back there to return the kick. Good kick there. It's low. Bouncing to Wolkey. He's just going to fall on it down at the 22-yard line.
Good field position. Sidney's winning the field position battle here. Good ball game.
Absolutely. And, Troy, we talked about it as we were coming into the second half. The mental lapses that they really want to avoid. One of those mental lapses being maybe that bad snap that cost them pretty good field position in a drive where they had just picked up a big first down.
Yeah, the bad snaps have hurt. Yeah, I want to talk a little bit about Coach Dan Gress, the head coach at Northmont. First team All-Ohio, played for Lance Snyder. He says, when I went to Kent State, one of the things I learned was how good a football program I played in high school, because I saw these coaches, these players coming from all these other programs. They didn't have the discipline. They didn't have the culture that I learned from Lance. Hats off to Lance Snyder. Coach Dan Gress, he appreciates everything you gave him, Lance. This is not head coach down from Bird, Miami's Bird.
Another big tackle made by Sidney. And I love, Coach, you talked about the program. I love a lot of times when the Jackets are coming out of that power, you see players with their hands in the air, making sure to emphasize no silly mistakes, no extracurricular activities. And, after tonight's game, get your first full warning weather weekend forecast from Chief Meteorologist Natalie Walters only on Dayton 24/7 Now News at 10 on Fox 45. As Stanley hands off, and we've got another guy slipping on that wet and muddy grass, Will Wolkey.
You haven't seen a lot of those jet sweeps because it takes a little bit of footing to get your foot planted. When you're running east-west like that instead of north-south, it takes a little footing to get your foot planted and cut upfield. Just like that, he slipped right out of the way. Hey, I want to talk about Coach Dan Gress.
Yes.
Boy, his wife, Hannah, they've been married 6 years. She's a school counselor now, Tip. So what do you think is like in that house when Tip plays Troy? That big football game. But, boy, his eyes light up when he talks about Clara and little baby Charlie won. Oh, he loves living in Troy. He loves being part of the community. He and his wife, Hannah, Clara, and Charlie, that's the Gress family. They're happy here in Troy.
Great ball by Donnie Stanley. Completed nice to ball. Number 13. That's going to be Willie Ritchie. The 5'9 junior, 160 pounds. But it looks like that's going to be just short of that first down marker. Good ball there by Donnie Stanley, but the Trojans are going to have to punt this one away.
Hey, I got a prediction. If they kick it to Julius Spalding, watch out. He's lightning in the bottle, the freshman. Yeah. Let's see if they kick it to him or kick away. Here comes the block again.
Bringing the heat. It's not going to get there.
Oh, Spalding's going to get it. Let's see what he does. Nope.
It's going to one hop, and he's going to back away from that one.
I want to see him put a little magic on that.
That ball rolling down to the 29-yard line. The Troy Trojans up on the Sidney Yellow Jackets 10-6 as we head to break. We'll be back right after this. We're back at Troy Memorial Stadium as the Trojans take on the Sidney Yellow Jackets. They're up 10-6 in this one with about 5.5 minutes left. As we look at that Troy student section, they're going to need to bring the noise on this possession as the Jackets come out onto the field, hoping to take the lead. They're down 4 points right now, but they have scored the last points in this one. E.J. Davis lining up in the shotgun, receiving the snap, and keeping it simple, bouncing things out to the outside, finding some room, picking up the first down and a whole lot more. E.J. up the sideline, brought down 33 yards later. A huge carry from the quarterback of the day as we look at the Toyota replay, Coach.
You'll see this. Troy brings a blitz. Troy has been blitzing a lot. Coach Gress loves to bring the heat. But one thing about the blitz is if that middle's clogged up and that back can get outside, you remove your linebackers. A nice play by number 44, Christopher Williams. He's all over the place. 6'1", 223. Got a 3.7 GPA. Senior linebacker Christopher Williams.
The handoff up the middle after that Arby's first down. He was hit at the line of scrimmage, but he rumbled forward for another 3 yards on that play. It's going to be about 2nd and 7 there. And as we mentioned, big run by E.J. Davis, Coach. He could be a ballerina the way he tiptoed along that sideline, staying in bounds and picking up another 15 yards.
Hey, my man Christopher Williams, though he's a little banged up and holding his shoulder, looks like a stinger. He wants to go to University of Cincinnati and major in architecture. He's a 3.7 student. I said, what do you like about it? He said, Coach, I love calling the defensive signals. You know, Evan Jones and I, we take turns calling defensive signals. His dad is an executive for Myers. They've moved back and forth from Detroit and Troy. I'll finish this in a minute.
Another handoff up the middle to your guy, Martez. He brings that about 2 yards short.
He's north-south runner. He's a give me the bomb on north-south.
Oh, yeah, no dancing from Martez. He's lowering his shoulder, and he's going to create that contact.
Christopher Williams, about every 3 years, the stepdad gets promoted, so they can move to Detroit. Troy's happy that Myers has brought him here, though. Let's see if they go with the big north-south runner up the middle. Harris.
Third and short, low snap.
Oh, nice block by Harris.
Up the middle. And that's going to depend on the spot and where they believe his forward progress will stop. That ball poked out, but after the whistle. So we're going to see where the referees spot that ball. EJ probably already telling his coach, if it's fourth down, coach, we got to go for it.
They got the big back in, Harris.
You know, we really talked about how this is a power football team, and we're going to see it right here on display. 4th and 1 for the Yellow Jackets.
15 on the play clock. Are they going to be pressed?
They're not going to have a lot of time to make many adjustments at that line.
You know
Coach
what?
may have to spend
I
the time out here.
Rush. I hate it when you got to rush like this. 3,
especially
2,
on fourth down.
Yeah.
That's that bouncing to E.J. Davis, trying to push the pile forward. Troy says they stopped him. Sidney says they made it. Let's see what the refs say.
Well, you know, when you rush on that clock, bad things happen.
Absolutely, especially on a pivotal 4th and 1 play. That ball looking like it might be a bit short, but we're going to have to go to the chain gang on this one.
Andrew, let me talk about the traditions of these two schools. 68, 69, and 70. Sidney went 30-0. Head coach Dave Haynes, we just lost Dave about 3 years ago. Ohio High School Hall of Fame member, 30-0. They call it 30. Here's the measurement.
Oh, man, this is going to be close. Oh, he's short. That's about 2.5 inches.
Credit card short.
Man. Whew, that's a turnover on downs. Great stand by the Troy Trojans defense. Sidney literally about 2 inches short of that first down marker. The Trojans up 10-6 over the Sidney Yellow Jackets. As the third quarter comes to an end, we'll be right back after this short commercial break. We're back here at Troy Memorial Stadium with about 3 minutes left in the third quarter. The Trojans up 10-6 over the Sidney Yellow Jackets, coming off a huge, and I mean huge, defensive stop by the Troy Trojans, coach.
There's 44, Christopher Williams. He's hanging that shoulder. He's got a little stinger in there. That'd be a big loss for Troy if he can't come back. But Christopher, take care of yourself. Lots of football games, only 2 shoulders.
Absolutely, and just Christopher Williams, he's the one who told us before this game that he loves games like this. On a wet field where he knows the other team doesn't want to pass, he gets to really get big and physical and hit that running back. We've seen a lot of that from him today. You see him hanging that shoulder. We hope he's going to be all right. As Donnie Stanley hands it off up the middle, Nick Kawaki picking up about 8 or 9 more yards on that play for a big first down for the Trojans.
It's called big boy football. He's running north-south. Defense is coming up. A lot of hitting.
That's another Arby's first down for Nick Kawaki as he gets the play call from the sidelines. And, you know, they really, coming out into the second half, they want to establish the run. We heard Bennett talking to Coach Gress about that as they went into the locker room. He's going to stick with his game plan. He knows his quarterback can throw it when they need to, but he's very confident about their ability to run. And there goes a good pass, good broken tackle by Wolkey. He's going to be dragged down around that 48-yard line. Good throw from Donnie Stanley.
That route's called all hitch. In other words, all 4 of your receivers go out. They try to get it to the first down mark and turn around. All hitch. Throw the ball the shortest distance to the receiver. Find the one that's open.
Will Wolkey, the 5'9 senior, making a 7-yard reception on that play. And now we're going right back to the ground game. big boy football, as you called it. As they pick up a first down on that one. 3 yards up the middle by Nick Kawaki. That's another Arby's first down.
Hey, a little more about that Sidney tradition and that 30-0, 68, 69, 70. The star of the team was Chris Haynes. His dad was the coach. Some of you that really know football remember Chris Haynes made the winning catch for Notre Dame in the Cotton Bowl. The man who threw the ball, Joe Montana. So one of the most celebrated victories in the history of Notre Dame. Chris Haynes from Sidney, Ohio, passed from Joe Montana in the last second to win the game. Sidney High School, they're proud of you, Chris Haynes, David Haynes.
As the hand-up goes off the middle to Nick Kawaki, he's going to pick up about 2 or 3 yards. And anytime Joe Montana's mentioned, yeah, that's a big deal.
Oh, yeah. Now, they had their 50-year reunion this year because they couldn't have it for COVID. They had over 40 guys come back to celebrate that 30-0 run. And then Coach Douglas brought them to the pregame meal. He said, don't talk about winning, don't talk about the streak. Talk about what it means to have special relationships with your teammates. And that's what they talked about. Good job, Coach Adam, stressing that with the 30-0 group. They were so proud to come back to Sidney High. Uh-oh.
Absolutely. Another big carry up the middle. This one by a different running back, number 25. That's going to be Jahari Ward, getting the Trojans down to the 32-yard line. That's another Arby's first down.
Offensive line for Troy's taking over. Owen Harleman, my man, Joe Cusick.
Oh, yeah.
Parker Nichols, Max Chipley, Alex Davidson. They're taking over up front. Nichols, 275. Chipley, 285. Owen Harleman, 260. Joe Cusick, it says 235. He's 180.
Showed up to picture day with those 25-pound plates in his pocket as we hit the end of the third quarter. The Troy Trojans up after 3, 10-6 over the Sidney Yellow Jackets. We're going to be back for the fourth quarter right after this break. We're back in Troy Memorial Stadium. The Trojans up 6-7 over the Yellow Jackets. And, the Sidney Yellow Jackets have a very interesting tradition over there. And I'm going to send it down to Bennett Wise for more on that.
Yeah, Andre, that tradition is the goal board. It's a bunch of different things that go along, and the coaching staff gives checks and minuses based off different categories every single week. It depends on class and practice attendance, plays and takeaways on Friday night, so it's a bunch of different combinations. And if the guys get a check, they get helmet stickers. If not, Coach Dundas says, maybe next week. And it's a great motivator, too, for this team, Coach Dundas said. And the guys come in and look at it every single week at the end of each game.
Absolutely, Bennett. And on that board, like you mentioned, they've got players of the week, the big performances. And that's the first thing when you come into the locker room, you got to see who's on the board. As J.J. McCoy grinding up a big, that's Jahari Ward grinding out 8 or 9 yards on that play, bringing the Trojans down to that 8-yard line.
Oh, another hurry-up offense here.
They're taking
a little
their
tempo.
time. 2nd down and 3 as Donnie Stanley and Jahari Ward line up in the pistol once again. Will Wolkey in motion before the play. There's the snap. Up the middle to Ward. And you're not going to stop the big man. A touchdown, Troy. This touchdown brought to you by Donato's. Jahari Ward going in from 8 yards away. As we look at the student section, they're loving it here in Troy as the Trojans take a 10-point lead. Looking at this Toyota replay. And, Coach, we've been talking about the offensive line all night. They did a great job there.
Oh, yeah. Right behind my man, Joe Cusick. He's a wrestler, 19-6 last year. Loves wrestling.
As the Trojans line up for the point after. There's the snap, the kick up, splitting the uprights once again. The Trojans taking an 11-point lead early in the fourth quarter against Sidney. Jahari Ward, you see him right there. He did a lot of work on that drive, a lot of big carries, a lot of contact. The Trojans up 17-6 after that touchdown. We'll have more right after this break. We're back at Troy Memorial Stadium for this Thursday Night Lights showdown between Sidney and Troy. And hey, if you want to relive all of tonight's action, we are going to rebroadcast this game Sunday morning. Set your alarms at 11 a.m. on ABC 22. As the Trojans line up for this kickoff after the huge score by Jahari Ward, the 8-yard touchdown run. The Trojans taking a 17-6 lead in this one. And now Sidney, they're really going to have to put the pedal to the metal here, Coach.
They might have to go up top. You know, I know they don't want to, but you're reaching a point here. They're down 2 scores. Little hole. Nope.
This kickoff brought to you by Wright and Schulte. Number 7, there's the freshman we've been talking about all night, Julius Spradling, returning that kick.
Hey, Jahari Ward, the star is born. Sophomore running back, 200 pounds. We're going to hear a lot about him. Andre, let's talk about the Troy tradition. We mentioned Bob Ferguson, All-American at Ohio State under Woody Hayes. Went to the pros. You know the teams when Bob Ferguson played there, they never punted and they onside kicked every time.
Oh, that's
It was just
fun.
part of their philosophy. Then you talk about Randy Walker. I mean, when you say Randy Walker, you can't say Randy Walker without saying the word class. All-American at Miami University, went on to become the head football coach at Miami and then head football coach at Northwestern, and the coaching fraternity lost a great one way too young. Troy High School. First son, Randy Walker.
Oh, that's a fumble. That ball's on the turf, or excuse me, on the grass here at Troy Memorial. Snuffing out that read option, jumping the running back, poking that ball out. A huge loss on that play by Sidney. Look at Troy just breaking through that
penetration.
offensive
You're
line.
trying to run outside. You can't have inside penetration.
Absolutely. Poking that ball out, that's fundamental. Great job by E.J. Davis to fall for it. And I want to talk about a guy, Evan Jones. He was hurt earlier this year. Last time I was here, I saw him in a walking boot on the sidelines as E.J. Davis airmails that one over his receiver's head. And Evan Jones is a senior linebacker on this defense. He says just being out for so long, seeing his team struggle in some of those early game seasons was tough. It's good to see him back out here making plays as we look at the scoring summary brought to you by Rand Associates. Evan Jones and his Trojans defense in a 3rd and long, 3rd and 17 to be specific. And, you know, we talked about airing it out, and this is one of those times. They're going to have to take a shot. E.J. Davis here.
Oh, boy.
Oh, but that shot's going to get a little harder to take once they back up these 5 yards.
Dead ball.
Hey, you mentioned Evan Jones. Like you
65.
said, it killed him.
5-yard
He got
penalty.
hurt in the
3rd
Alder
down.
scrimmage. He's back. This is his 2nd week back. He's a 3-year starter, wants to be an engineering major at UC. He's got a 4.1 GPA to back that up. His mom was a gymnast here at Troy, so that's where he gets that athleticism. Really a first class. He and Kirsten Williams, they call the signals. They love calling signals.
All right, and Evan Jones, you can just tell by listening to him talk that he's really one of the vocal leaders on this team. He's the one who told me that they really want to keep those mental mistakes in line, and they've played very disciplined football in the second half as E.J. Davis lets one fly deep.
Oh, my
goodness, what
Get
a
that
catch.
ready for the highlight tape.
What a catch
Put
by
that on the
Sam
highlight
Reynolds. You see him patting his head. He said, I got that one on your head. Got him, coach. A huge throw and catch between E.J. Davis and Sam Reynolds for the Aristocrat first down. Looking at the Toyota replay, Davis, sometimes you just got to give your receiver a chance. Going up and getting it over the cornerback, Jack Kleinhens. What a play right there, coach, by Sam Reynolds.
Hey, we've been talking about Evan Jones and Kirsten Williams. Let's not forget their buddy J.J. McCoy. He's the third linebacker. He's a 3-year starter. Loves to ride dirt bikes. He and his dad bond. Here we got the replay.
What a shot by E.J. Davis, and you got mossed, as the
nice
great
catch.
wide receiver would say. Wow.
6'3", go up and get the ball. J.J. McCoy runs track, wants to play college football. Those linebackers, they're tough. J.J. McCoy, Christopher Williams, Evan Jones, their buddy Aiden Coleman. He's a junior, though.
And all of those linebackers that you mentioned, they've all played running back at some point in time here at Troy for the Trojans. So that's a physical group on both sides of the ball. As we talk about the physicality, they just made a big stop behind the line of scrimmage, and it's going to be 3rd and 6 for Sidney. They have a lot of momentum coming off of that big catch from Sam Reynolds, and the Trojans, they're going to have to really come out. We've been talking about the linebackers all game. I have a feeling that Sidney will probably stick to the run on 3rd and manageable. It's going to come down to who's
four
more
down
physical.
territory.
Absolutely.
I think you're thinking 3-3. Let's get 3 yards now. Let's get 3 yards on fourth down. Don't have to get all 6 right now.
As E.J. Davis, play action. No, he's going to pass. Running to his right. You see a couple guys slipping, but that guy's not going to slip. There's your guy right there that we were just talking about. J.J. McCoy pushing E.J. Davis out of bounds. And if you're Sidney, you can't afford to lose yards on that play. You'd much rather your quarterback just throw it out of bounds and give you potentially 4th and 6 instead of now it's going to be about 4th and 13.
Now you're I'd be a thinker on fourth down. Now it's got to be a thinker. Hey, let's talk just a little bit more about that Troy tradition. Did you know the longest tradition in Ohio high school football is Troy Piqua? And guess what the record is?
What's the record?
Troy, 66. Piqua, 65,
wow.
6 ties. Can you get it any more even than that? One game more even. That is one of great rivalries and very balanced.
Piqua picking up 65 just a few weeks ago. E.J. Davis taking another shot. This one to the end zone. To Sam again. He caught it, but did he get the foot down? The referee says no, he's out of bounds. What a heartbreaking way to end the drive.
Let's get a replay.
What a dime from E.J. Davis to Sam Reynolds.
They're the best crew. They're top crew Thursday night.
Yeah, we got to see that one. Man, great throw. Sam with the catch. Yep, that foot's on the choke.
He's out.
Great call
Ryan,
by
I
the
don't doubt
referees.
you. I don't doubt you, Ryan. I don't doubt you. Ryan and Ed, Kyle and Justin, Rob. I don't doubt you guys.
Great throw, great catch. That right foot just about 6 inches too far out of bounds, and now it's going to be a turnover on downs. But you got a lot of fast heartbeats on that Troy side after that one.
He can throw that deep ball.
I just wish we saw a little more out of it from him today. That's a good ball that he threw right there. Troy's on offense. Bouncing it to the outside is Will Wolkey, our Scholar Athlete of the Week, picking up a huge gain down to the 27-yard line. And that's how you swing the momentum right there. From a big play that almost was to a big play that was by Will Wolkey.
I'll tell you, he's all over the field for Sidney. That's Carter Elsner. He's the free safety, number 3, plays basketball and track. Listen, his dad owns a very successful painting business, Elsner Painting. Got 3 or 4 crews. Carter just wants to work for his dad. He said, Coach, I want to work. These young men, they like to work.
Troy
Carter
working
Elsner,
on
he's
this
been
drive.
all over the field.
Picking up 5 yards after that aristocrat first down. That's Nick Kawicki on the gain.
You know, the one thing, though, about Carter Elsner and the Elsner Painting, they had a contract to train Piqua High School. Of course, he's a Sidney guy, and he walked into the weight room covered in red, and they said, well, that's all right. So I've been painting the Piqua Stadium all week. They said, well, you know, that's good. We're rivals. We can go there. He loves to work. Said, Coach, I just like to work. I like to paint. He's going to be success in life.
Right. That's a
wants to
great
follow his
mindset.
dad. Dad's his hero.
3 receivers lined up to the left of Donnie Stanley as he hands off to Nick Kawicki. Good tackle made in the backfield by number 6 for Sidney, Devin Taborn, the senior. And now we're going to have about a 3rd and 6 for the Trojans. You think this is also 4-yard territory here, Coach?
I think so. Yeah, you know, another touchdown here and, you know, in big-time trouble. Oh, they got that north-south runner in there. Let's see what you think. That big sophomore, Ward.
Lining up once again in the shotgun.
Oh
man, that's going to hurt. That's going to hurt.
Dead ball. Encroachment. Defense number 59. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
And, Coach, there is a big difference between 3rd and 6 and now 3rd and 1.
Yeah, I can't find 16. Zane Klein, one of the top defensive linemen in the league, a big 6 foot, 202-pound senior. I can't find him. I wonder if he's hurt. We'll look for him. I saw him earlier in the game, but I haven't seen him. I just hope he's okay.
Absolutely. Lining up in the pistol. Once again, giving it to the big guy, and he's going to get the yardage they needed on that play.
Oh. Yellow flag coming in.
Uh-oh.
Remember that yellow flag's undefeated.
Absolutely.
Lost the game yet.
No matter how tough you are, that yellow flag will humble you real quick.
Holding. Offense number 55.
Man.
10 yards from the previous spot. 3rd down.
A holding call backing the Trojans up after they looked like they had picked up the first down. That one on Parker Nichols. As we look at Dan Gress, he's not going to be particularly happy about this one because He had the first down, and now he's backed up. He's got a 3rd and 10, and that really changes the call that you would do on 3rd down.
Hey, Coach Chris, he is aggressive, man. I like that guy. You know, one of the things, I asked the players, describe Coach. One guy, Coach said he's demanding, and another player says he's caring. That's what you want.
Absolutely.
You know, as the demand goes up, the caring has to go up. Two different players. One said caring. Oh, boy, nice hit.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that number 30.
No gain right there.
All over the place.
By J.J.
Miles Bennett coming up from the corner. These guys' corners are all over.
Oh, yeah, they've got some thumpers at that cornerback position.
I used to tell my corners, listen, you're in there to cover. If you can trip the guy up, bite him in the ankles, bring him down. These guys are physical. My corners, they were cover guys.
No, not these guys. They want to hit, especially in a game like this.
Yeah. This could be give Sidney a chance or it's all over.
Absolutely. 4th and long, time really starting to become an issue for the Sidney Yellow Jackets. If they want any chance in this game, they've got to make a stop here on 4th down as Donnie Stanley once again rolls to his left, dodging one guy, lofting it up to the end zone. It's off his receiver's chest, looking for a penalty flag. There is none. And that guy right there, Andrew Hellman, he's not going to be happy about that. Great job by the Sidney secondary. Stanley dodging a guy, just throwing it up, giving his receiver a chance. That goes off his helmet.
I like all those dirty uniforms out there. When's the last time you saw dirty grass coming out of a guy's face mask? You know, when's the last time you seen it? I like this. You know, old school football. Tough, physical, defensive football.
Now, we saw 2 very good throws last possession from E.J. Davis. I wonder, with this game really starting to wind down, about 5.5 minutes left on that clock, if they're going to really let him have the freedom to air it out some more.
They're down 2 scores, so you might have to. They got that big 6'3" receiver in there. Let's see if they could throw that deep ball again.
E.J. Davis lining up in the shotgun. 3 receivers to the bottom of your screen, 1 to the top, rolling out to his right, looking for somebody. He's stepping into another deep bomb. And that one is going to hit the grass.
I thought he had it.
Woo, I thought he had another miracle play. Great play out there by the defensive back, Jack Kleinhens. He's been all over the field on both sides of the ball as we look at the Toyota replay.
That's called a flood pattern. It's exactly what it says. All 3 receivers go on out cuts. 1 at 10, 1 at 20, and 1 at 30. You know what, though? I think E.J. Davis, when he rolled out, he wasn't reading anything. He said, I'm going deep on this. I got my 6'3" guy there. I'm going to take a shot at him.
Yep, you mentioned him right there. That's Sam Reynolds. We saw him make a huge catch last possession, and that one was in his chest. Just he bobbled it a little bit after he took the hit. A quick screen pass this time. That's going to pick up about a yard or 2 before going out of bounds. But it's nice to see Sidney, like we've talked about, picking up the pace, getting that ball through the air, trying to make that big play, because at the end of the day, you're down 11 points, 2 possessions, and that clock's not stopping.
Nope. Physical football.
Davis has got the play call, huddling up as the clock ticks past 5 minutes. 3rd and 9 for the Yellow Jackets. Not very dramatic to say that this could be the game right here. These next 2 plays for the Jackets. Davis dropping back. The pressure's coming. Scrambling forward. Going to his right. Looking for a guy, and he's going to keep it himself. Picking up more than enough yards. Man, that guy's got butter all over him. He's slippery, Coach.
2,000 career rushing yards. He knows what to do with the football. I like that. Pull that ball down, take off, be an athlete.
Absolutely. I mean, this is essentially his bread and butter. He loves running the ball.
He's laying all over the field. Oh, some broken ankles there.
Yep. I don't know how he got through there. Diving forward, picking up almost 20 yards on that play. As it looks like that's another aristocrat first down for the Sidney Yellow Jackets.
You know, Andre, you and I went out to practice yesterday. It's interesting. It was pouring rain. Both teams stayed inside.
Yes.
You know, when I was a young coach, I thought I was Woody Hayes. I said, Woody Hayes had a philosophy. If you're going to play in the North Atlantic, you're going to practice in the North Atlantic. I was never quite positive what that meant, to be honest. But where's the North Atlantic? But I knew this. It meant if you go outside. I can't tell you how many times though I walked in after practice and go, well, we didn't get anything done there. I mean, we stood out in the rain. We couldn't snap the ball. We couldn't talk. They couldn't get in there. So I like what these coaches, you know, and it's transpired over the years to where coaches say, well, let's do what's smart. You know what, though? Even at the end of my career, I said, hey, it could be a blizzard as long as it's not lightning. We're going to go 30 minutes outside. We're going to have a little bit of contact. Probably wrong, but I like what the coaches are doing now. They're a smart way. Let's accomplish things. Stay inside, walk through things, go over films, and let's not go out and waste a practice. Get somebody hurt. That's why coach plays. That's why maybe it was time to hang it up.
I don't know if that was it, Coach. You seem like you still know what you're doing.
Outside.
Looking ahead to next week, join us next Thursday on MyTV Dayton at 7 p.m. when we head to Miami Valley South Stadium to catch the Middletown Madison Mohawks as they take on the Bellbrook Golden Eagles. It's going to be a good one right there. As we get back to this one, Troy versus Sidney. Sidney down 2 possessions late in the fourth quarter. E.J. Davis dropping back, scrambling out to his left, trying to evade the pass rush, but they're going to drag him down behind the line. Huge play by that Trojans defense.
There's some hitting going on out there.
Oh, yeah.
Both coaches, physical coaches, they like physical play. EJ's going to be sore. He got to go to school tomorrow, too.
He's definitely going to want to ice after this one. Yeah. Big hit made by number 28 for Troy. That's going to be Devin Strobel. As we look at J.J. McCoy and that Troy defense on this big 2nd and 17. E.J. Davis dropping back again, once again rolling out. Looking deep.
Go.
Another
shot
ball. To his guy, Sam Sullivan.
Oh,
great defense by that Troy secondary. Davis laid down in the backfield.
I'm a defensive guy. Keep the flag in your pocket.
Huge play right there by Colin Stoltz. Troy Trojans. Big defensive play that's going to lead to a 3rd and 17 as we look at the Toyota replay. Feldman was there, but a huge swat. Let's watch the hit right after this throw makes contact. Great coverage there by Colin Stoltz.
Defensive coach, incidental contact. Coach tells you he doesn't like that.
He's not. He doesn't think it was incidental contact.
He's an offensive guy. A wide receiver, St. Mary's High School. He says that was penalty. We got timeout. E.J.
Davis going to the sidelines to talk to his coaches to try to figure out a play on this 3rd and long as we head to break. Troy Trojans up on the Sidney Yellow Jackets, 17-6. A bunch of threes on the scoreboard. 3:33 left on the clock. 3rd down and 17 for the Troy Trojans as we look at the Thursday Night Lights trophy donated by Rand Associates. Sidney in a 3rd and long situation. E.J. Davis, he's going to have to dial up a big play. And, I'm so impressed by what I've seen from E.J. on a guy coming into a position that he's unfamiliar with on a short week. He typically plays wide receiver. So at wide receiver, you know what you have to do. But at quarterback, they typically line up in a lot of 4 receiver sets. We're about to see another right here. You've got to know where everybody has to be, when to hit them with the ball, the timing, and just in an unfamiliar situation, he's done a really good job as Davis throws it as he takes a big shot, and that's picked off by that Troy defense. And he's got some green grass in front of him. Number 44 with a big hit at the end. Pushed out of bounds. Huge play by the Trojans. Christopher Williams, that's your guy, as E.J. Davis limps back towards the sidelines. He's going to wish he had that play back. As we look at the Toyota replay, that pass rush all over E.J. Davis. 3rd and long, he's just trying to make a play. But Christopher Williams comes up with it.
You know what? The smart football strategy to say, what's he doing throwing the ball? You know what? You're down 11 points. Absolutely. You're getting sacked. It's 3rd and 20. You say, don't be frustrated, EJ. I like what you did. You know what? You tried everything. You're not going to go down and say, it's like taking a 3rd call and striking baseball. Yep. You know what? If you go down, fight, and throw the ball, maybe one of your guys can make a play on it. Can we get a shot of EJ on the bench? That is a picture, if we get a shot of him, of a young man who has laid it all on the line tonight. Yep. He's absolutely exhausted. He's on my all-tough guy team. Yeah, I'm keeping he and Joe Pekusic tonight for my all-tough guy team.
There he is right there, E.J. Davis.
Oh, yeah. Hey, keep your head up. Don't be frustrated, E.J.
Absolutely.
I vote for what you did. Give it a try. Don't take a 3rd call looking.
Yeah,
strike looking. Just
if he takes that sack, it's going to be about 4th and 24. And I don't exactly know the Sidney playbook, but I know there's not a lot of 4th and 24 play calls in there.
Coach is saying, hang in there. Keep your head up, EJ. We need you next week. We need you next week. He's mad. I'm a competitor. I like what you did, AJ. You're on my all-tough guy team. You can take some condolences in that. Coach places all-tough guy team. EJ Davis, I like him.
Absolutely, and Coach, he earned that spot. He's taken a lot of big hits. He's also given out a lot of big hits, which you don't always see from the quarterback position.
Hey, Christian Williams, he looked like a running back there. Hey, Myers, thank you. Troy says thank you for transferring Dad back here so that he can be an outstanding football player and a 3-9 student, too.
Now the Trojans in a very good position at that 3-yard line, handing the ball off up the middle. He might have picked up a yard there, but this is going to be 2nd and goal in the Donato's delivery zone. Donato's Pizza, a great call for after the game. Order online for pickup or delivery at donatos.com. Every piece is important.
Something I want to say about Coach Gress. His eyes lit up. He says, Coach, I learned how to be a great parent. Hannah and I live in Troy. We love Troy. Charlie, Claire, we want to be great parents. I learned from my parents. My parents went to every game from Pee Wee through 5th year of college. His dad, Dan Gress, he's a Patterson grad. He said, Coach, anytime I look, I knew my mom and dad were there. I want to be that kind of parent for my kids and every kid in Troy. My parents set the example for me. Good job, Dan Gress. Raised a good son.
Stanley passing. That ball tipped. Swatted down by the Sidney defense. The Yellow Jackets trying to make a goal line stand against the Trojans. Down 2 possessions in this one. As we look at the Toyota replay, Donnie Stanley rolling to his right, stops, sets his feet, tries to hit Christopher Williams, the guy who got the interception to get them to this spot in the first place.
Hey, there got to be 2 number 30s out there. That can't be one guy. I mean, they got to have duplicate. That Miles Vandenbroek, he's all over the place. They got to have a duplicate 30 over there. I mean, the guy's a corner. He's everywhere. There he is. Nice game, Miles.
Making big hits, making big swats on defense as the Trojans go up the middle, and he's going to get stuffed at the 2-yard line.
I'll tell you what, Sidney's playing like it's a tie ball game, and they are just playing their hearts out. And just to look at Big Jaden Swagger, number 78, he's been a rock in that defensive line. Carson Rober on the other side's been tough. I like Chris Huggins, linebacker, number 11. You know, he's a basketball track guy. He's been growing his hair since 5th grade.
Oh, man.
I tell you what, they love their hair up there in Sidney. They got the most wild hairdos I've ever seen in my life.
A lot of crazy hairstyles on that Yellow Jacket sideline.
Yeah.
And we're looking at a 4th and goal. It's looking like the Trojans are dialing up a play to go for it. And, I mean, why not? I mean, if you make it, you put this game out of reach for sure. And if you miss it, you're pinning Sidney down at the 2-yard line. Troy taking a timeout to really think about this, whether they want to just take the 3 and kick off with potentially a 14-point lead or go for broke.
Hey, you know my man Joe Cusick, he's got that mullet. He says women like it. But you know what he told me? He says your guy out there, Andre Johnson, he'd look good in a mullet. He wants you to grow a mullet.
I think he's right. Actually, I think I could really rock a mullet. As we look at the season schedule, every week on MyTV Dayton, we have all the high school football action on Premier Health Thursday Night Lights, presented by Cincinnati Toyota Dealers. Next week, we've got Middletown Madison going against Bellbrook. After that, Troy Christian at Northridge, Tippecanoe going against Fairborn, and that's going to be a really fun game to watch because that Tippecanoe offense has been on fire this year. And then we close things out with that Franklin football team at Brookville on October 21st. A lot of great games on this schedule.
I'll be back up here next week, though, for this press box meal. You guys have fun at Bellbrook.
I might sneak over to meet you here. I like that pulled pork a lot as we
Johnny, you didn't hear that.
4th and goal. Big handoff off the middle, and that's the big guy, Jahari Ward, converting on the 4th and goal. This touchdown brought to you by Donato's as Troy really puts this game out of reach. It's going to be 23-6 before the extra point attempt. The student section loves it. What a time for them back in the stands this year. Jahari Ward hugging his head coach after a great handoff. Great job by those big guys up front too, Coach. Jahari Ward bouncing that to the outside, running through an arm tackle.
Oh, nice block.
That extra point attempt is blocked. It's going to be 23-6. Troy.
Yeah, Andre, one thing about, we go out to practice, you and I, and we usually have our sidekick Brownie with us every Wednesday. We get to know these kids. We get to know these coaches. I'm happy for every team that wins. But you know what? On the other sideline, we got to know that coach. We got to know their players. Your heart breaks for them because this is their senior year in high school. You know, one thing about Sidney, Coach Adam Dungas, I call him Adam the character coach Dungas. He is all in the character. Andre, I'm very proud of the fact that I teach 12 different character classes at the University of Dayton. Coach Gress has taken a couple of them. 30 of the head coaches in the Miami Valley have taken one of my graduate class of character. There he is. Coach has taken 7 of them. He just keeps coming back. He doesn't need the credits. He says, Coach, I want to learn how to be a character coach. I just don't want to be a coach. He's going to build a great program there. And you know what he's going to do? I don't know how many games he's going to win, but he's going to build great young men. Oh, there's 25, the running back. Coach Dungas, good, nice job, Coach. Hang in there. You got a good team. They're playing their hearts out. You know, you got some injuries. Your big offensive tackle that you like to run behind is out. We're not making excuses for you, Coach, but your kids played their hearts out. Keep them up, Coach. Keep them positive. You got another ball game next week. You're doing a great job.
Absolutely. This kickoff brought to you by Wright and Schulte. And, you know, you talked about Coach and those character classes, and I think that really leads to things like what we were talking to earlier, you know, with the coach as he brought in his players throughout the summer to really take classes to learn how to manage their emotions, because Coach, not only is that big on the football field and avoiding silly penalties, but that's big in life even after you graduate from high school.
You know, even the young man that got the penalty earlier tonight, the stats are going to say 15 yards, unsportsmanlike conduct. He got shoved, bang, like that. He shoved the guy back. That's being a 17-year-old kid, right. You know, but that's what football teaches you. You know, you can't do that. That's what Coach Dungas is trying to impart to his players. I like Coach. Hang in there, Coach. You know, you and Emily, go for a run tomorrow. Don't run 8 hours, though, Coach.
Yeah,
Take
8 hours
run,
is a bit much.
Relax, talk a little bit. He's got 2 dogs. Take the dogs with you.
Absolutely. As E.J. Davis lining up once again in the pistol, and that's going to be another flag. But just
false start, offense, 5-yard penalty.
False start by the offense. That'll back them up 5 yards. And once again, I just like to compliment E.J. Davis, a guy who typically plays wide receiver and wants to be on that defense, but he stepped up to the plate. You know, Coach called him literally at 10:30. He said, "Hey, E.J., what you doing?" He said, "Coach, I'm about to get in bed." And, you know, Coach said, "Hey, I need you at quarterback this week." E.J. said, "It's done. Don't worry about it. I got your back, Coach. I'll do whatever this team needs me to do." And he's come out here, hasn't made any excuses. He's played hard, throwing big passes, made big runs, as we see a big run by the running back up the middle, grinding for 13 yards and counting here. That's going to be another aristocrat first down.
I like those rugby scums. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this.
They're still
going. Rugby scum. You know what? There's a minute 17 left. You say the Sidney Yellow Jackson packed it in. That last play says one thing. We'll play the whistle. We'll play the last play. We're playing for pride in our school.
There
Tremendous
is no
tradition.
quit.
30-0 field. Dave Haynes, Chris Haynes, all the great ones there at Sidney High.
Absolutely. And you mentioned the tradition, you know, being in that facility, they have a wall full of portraits and pictures of teams from the past, a lot of creative photo shoots on that wall, but these guys really respect the guys that came before them. As we see another run up the middle, picking up about 2 or 3 yards.
Hey, somebody did a great job tonight. Offensive line coach for Troy. His name is Brian Gray. He's one of the top offensive line coaches in the area. I like Brian Gray. I think that the offensive line from Troy tonight might have been the difference in the game, and Brian Gray, he's a big part of it.
Absolutely. And, you know, when you're able to run the ball as effectively as Troy did, that really has a big impact on the time of possession. And that's one of the biggest advantages to being a running team, is controlling the clock and essentially keeping the other offense off the field.
There we are. We're down under a minute.
As this clock winds down, the Troy Trojans, this is going to be their 3rd win in a row, picking up their first a couple weeks ago in overtime, going against Stebbins. Then they beat Fairborn by a lot last week. Now they're going to win this one over Sidney. As we head past the midway point of the season, the Trojans 3-3 in a very good position with some momentum.
There they are. Hey, Sidney's fine, too. They're going to be fine. Hey, you know, the principal, Gary Snyder, he was the offensive coordinator on that 2017 team, so you know he's got Coach Dungas' back all the way. The AD, Mitch Hoying, former baseball coach. They love Coach Dungas up there in Sidney. Always good. Nice to see teams shaking hands.
Final
the
score.
old Kent State linebacker. He's a tough guy. Nice job, Coach Gress.
Great job by the Troy Trojans. Final score in this one, 23-6. Troy winning this one here. Great job by Dan Gress and the Trojans winning their third game of the season. We're going to go to break and come back with a trophy presentation on Thursday Night Lights. We're back here at Troy Memorial Stadium. A great game by the Trojans, winning this one 23-6 over the Sidney Yellow Jackets. And Bennett Wise has a very special gift for the team down on the field.
Yeah, that's right, Andre. I have the Thursday Night Lights trophy that I am able to present to Christopher Williams and the Troy Trojans. Here you go.
Yes, sir!
Where are you, Coach? Let me get you up here. Now, one of the big things we talked about yesterday was keeping the momentum going in your season. How were you guys able to do that tonight?
Yeah, absolutely. They played old-fashioned football. They went out there and played all 4 quarters, didn't stop fighting, and that's what we're about to do this week. That's what we're about to do this week as well, going in.
So what did you like most? Who really stood out in this win here today?
The trenches. The trenches were unbelievable, kept going at it, and then our supporting cast kept backing them up. So that's where we win the football game.
Now, ultimately, what truly impressed you most with this win? You know, Sidney, it's another divisional win, and now you guys sit at 500.
Doesn't matter what game it is. It's this team, these players that we love to absolute death, and they do nothing but fight every play. That's what impresses us every game.
Well, Coach, thank you so much. And, guys, congratulations on your win here tonight. Send it back up to you.
Thank you, Bennett. A great game played by the Troy Trojans. They told me before the game that they wanted to come in here and really establish the ground game, and led by that 3-headed monster of J.J. McCoy, Jahari Ward, and Nick Kawaki, they did that, running all over the Sidney Yellow Jackets to their 3rd straight win in a row in a huge Miami Valley League contest. Good night from the Premier Health Thursday Night Lights Showdown, presented by the Cincinnati Toyota dealers. Join us next Thursday at 7 o'clock at Miami Valley South Stadium when Middletown Madison takes on Bellbrook on MyTV Dayton. Now, stay tuned for Dateline.